just trying to put the Father over everything. I'm just trying to put the Father over everything. I'm just trying to put the Father over everything. I'm just trying to put the Father over everything.
He destroys. My mouth speaks the praise of Yah, and let all flesh bless his set apart name forever and
And
ever.
never. All praise.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
All praise to the Most High.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Praise
Man,
Yah,
all
man.
praise to the Most
Praise the
High,
Most
Praise
High.
man.
y'all. Praise y'all.
Hey, y'all nasty, boy. Y'all nasty, man. Y'all know how to get somebody's spirit jump. Hallelujah.
All praise.
Hallelujah, man. I'm telling you, man.
Selling they soul, liquor and dope. Letting go of the rope, young and the old, slippery slope. Proverbs 1 and 24 is the cause of our woes. We don't even know. So many in the city lack a father. Ain't no winning till we turn back to the Father. No quitting, remain willing to go harder. Further,
You got good people out there. You still got to follow the commandments.
the money come with problems and we got no way to solve them. If you got it, then you got them. Best believe that, bro. Open up the Bible, you will find yourself
And
inside
this is the message which we have heard from him and announced to you, that Elohim is light, and in him is no darkness at all.
In the scriptures, love life and put the Father over everything. I'm just trying to.
I was thinking we actually, since you said that, I was looking at Psalm 66, and that's what is going on. You know,
Just trying to put the Father over everything, yeah. Father over everything. I'm just trying to put the Father over everything. Could care less about the power. You could keep the rings. I'm just trying to put the Father over.
That's when that lust kick in, man. You always got to be dealing with that fight, that daily flesh fight every day.
every
Every
day.
day.
Jews look strange to Americans. They ain't used to seeing Torah keeping people with no Satan in them. Some of us only keep the
I was
laws
able
and
to
our
connect
actions.
to one of our elders in Africa of the Limba tribe.
Till we discover the truth in that days, we be doing something different. We follow the Abba to the T with no permission. Wrestling for blessings like your code, we on a mission. Fully understanding we're the vehicle to bring the truth to others while maintaining that Yahuwah is the engine. I don't think you heard me, I said y'all must be the engine. The Messiah came in his name, he is on one accord with him. In this land of kid, I'm always second guess doctrine that's polytheistic and not keeping the Father central. I'm just trying to put the Father over everything. I'm just trying to put the Father over everything. Could care less about the
I don't think the Most High made a mistake. That's how I look at it. He knew what was going on. He knew what he was going to do. He knew how it was going to play out. You know what I'm saying? He
Right on.
declared the end from the beginning. So if it went like that,
That's
it meant to
all.
go
Supposed
that
to go
way.
like that.
less about the power. You could keep the rings. I'm just trying to put the Father over everything, yeah. Father over everything. Father over everything. Power, you could keep the rings. Father over everything, yeah.
I know y'all Hebrews, and I know it's late. So, Shabbat Shalom. I love y'all, man. Oh,
Love you
Love you
too,
too.
bro.
yeah.
Love, brothers.
Hey, Shabbat.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, 17.
17.
I was crowned by my El. My crown is living, and I was justified in my master. My incorruptible salvation is he. I was loosed from vanity, and I was not condemned. The choking bonds were cut off by her hands. I received the face and the fashion of a new person, and I walked in it and was delivered. And the thought of the truth led me on, and I walked after it and did not wander. And all that have seen me were amazed, and I was regarded by them as a strange person. And he who knew and brought me up is the Most High in all perfection. And he glorified me by his kindness and raised my thoughts to the height of his truth. And from there he gave me the way of his precepts, and I opened the doors that were closed and broke in pieces the bars of iron. But my iron melted and dissolved before me. Nothing appeared close to me because I was the door of everything. And I went over to all my bound ones and loosed them, that I might not leave any man bound or binding. And I imparted my knowledge without grudging, and my prayer was in my love. And I sowed my fruits in hearts and transferred them into myself. And they received my blessing and lived. And they were gathered to me and were saved, because they were to me as my own members, and I was their head. Glory to you, our head, the Master Mashiach. Allah, Yah.
Hallelujah. Man, that's hidden.
Yeah, I ain't no stunt. We're gonna have to revisit this one. Let's
Yeah, I know. I'm like,
we revisiting this one out straight up.
this bug.
Leave it alone. We gonna
Right,
this one straight up. All praises.
That mug.
Let's get to it.
Oh man, that mug hidden right there.
That's nasty right there.
Man.
Ooh.
Oh, praise to the Most High. Yeah, that was hit. I'm talking about.
Right, we revisiting that.
All right, man.
I'm telling you, we revisiting that one.
How come we can't? No, just kidding. We quit.
You want to go back to it right now?
Yeah, like we can't even talk about it.
Say that.
Don't say that now. He got a whole lesson. He got a whole lesson for that song right there.
Don't say nothing else. You know you talk too much anyway. Don't say nothing else. Let's go.
All right, we kick it off.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I kick it off.
Okay.
You know, you want to give a little context, or
yeah? So we're gonna touch on some things, man, that you see, and you could say is a lot of it is the ways of Satan, or you could say all of it is, man, which leads to many things that we see going on in the world now that's bad, man. And we're gonna touch on some of that, and you decipher and see is that spiritual warfare. You know what I mean? You be the judge of that.
All right, Revelation 12, 7-12.
Sir.
And there came to be fighting in heaven. Michael and his messengers fought against the dragon, and the dragon and his messengers fought. For they were not strong enough, nor was a place found for them in heaven any longer. And the great dragon was thrown out, that serpent of old, called the devil and Satan, who leads all the world astray. He was thrown to the earth, and his messengers were thrown out with him. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now have come the deliverance and the power and the reign of our Elohim and the authority of his Messiah. For the accuser of our brothers, who accused them before our Elohim day and night, has been thrown down. And they overcame him because of the blood of the Lamb and because of the word of their witness. And they did not love their lives to death. Because of this, rejoice, O heavens, and you who dwell in them. Woe to the earth and the sea, because the devil has come down to you, having great wrath, knowing that he has a little time.
Man, you see, but him knowing that he has a little time, so he bringing great wrath. And you already seen, we just read it say he leads the whole world astray. How's he leading the whole world astray, man? You know what I mean? How is he leading the whole world astray? But I want to hit that definition of wrath real quick so we can see some of those words that go along with wrath.
Okay, but let's look at that. Let's look at this real quick.
Okay.
He said he is the accuser of our brothers who accuse them before our Elohim day and night. You know, so it's like
Non-stop accusing, right? If you talk about
non-stop.
Right. Non-stop. You got to find something to accuse. It's non-stop, man.
You said wrath?
Yeah, wrath.
R-A-T-H, ain't it?
W.
Hey, this brother right here. I ain't even gonna get started today. You know what I'm saying?
I knew it. I just wanted to make sure y'all was, you know what I'm saying? Ain't graduate. Ain't graduate.
Hey, when you click on that drop down right there next to Fury.
Okay. Anger, rage, fury, annoyance, indignation, outrage. That's a good one.
Outrage. And a bad mood all the time. You're accusing your brothers night and day. Irritability.
Displeasure.
Yeah.
Just pissed off, basically.
And that's consistently every day, right? Since the beginning, since he was tossed out when he started his mess in heaven.
All day.
Yeah.
That's a strong word. Yeah, wrath, man. So keep in mind, he got wrath against the whole world. He lead the whole world astray. So imagine all the things.
Go back to that. Go back to that real quick. That verse 11 out.
Shabbat shalom, all.
Shabbat shalom.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, when you get through recording, I sure want to talk to y'all on a personal level.
Okay.
About what we're talking about right now. But when we get through recording.
Right on.
Okay.
All right. I'm here.
All praise. Hey, look how we got to overcome this one that's accusing us, though. How we overcome him up?
By the Lamb.
By the blood of the Lamb. Right? We just coming off Passover season, right?
Right.
Being covered in that blood. That's the only way you can overcome this wrath that's being put upon you from Satan the devil by the blood of the Lamb.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna bring up a point real quick. I know I'm a little late. I was doing something, but like you said, the devil leads the whole world astray, and then he accuses you. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy. Like he leads you astray, then he accuses you. So he leads you to that position of like, you know what I mean, when you get caught up in the sin, just like he did Eve. You know, he led her astray. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so that's why the words say not to be ignorant of Satan's devices and his tricks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you fall for a trick, and then he accuses you once you fall for it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Mm-hmm. And that's why Mashiach said I came back for the lost sheep first, right? Because he leads everybody astray, right?
Right.
When you get led astray, you get what? Lost, right?
I really want to talk on that, but I want y'all to hit the record at least for 2-3 minutes.
Okay.
This is deep. It's amazing that y'all even came upon this.
Oh yeah.
I want you to stop recording for a second. It's just amazing that y'all came upon this story, and I want everybody to hear that one.
Well, he get puffed up in his heart too. He getting puffed up.
Already written these things. They said, "Oh, this is man-made. Oh, you don't believe." Well, they better start believing, because that was right in front of every billions and trillions of people, because they're following this.
Right, and not everybody gonna catch that either, Shauna.
What do you do, Shauna? Hey, what do you do for real? Say it again.
That man came. Look, first of all, he fired the head of who he put in there. That was one big statement. Elon Musk. That was a big statement. Then he came and went to the world.
He fired Elon Musk?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. Go ahead, though.
Did he?
You're not gonna know it. Then he came up on all the world as soon as the Pope ain't even been laid almost arrested. He comes saying, I want to be the Pope. I said, wait a minute. I said, oh, this is what the Bible was saying. So he put that man in power to deceive the world with all the wickedness. He doing all this against everybody, and they can't see it. I said, to say that you want to be the Pope and that's a rabbi. I said, and up under Yah, the rabbi, not the president, not the, up under. I said, that's prophecy within itself, spoken live on TV, if you in the word.
We know the Most High pick and choose whom he want to put in place, right?
Yes.
As
Yes.
leaders. We know that.
There you go.
We know rabbi means teacher, but
yes,
obviously the dude don't know nothing. He just getting puffed up.
There you go.
But like we just read, though, the devil leads the whole world astray. The whole world.
Right.
And we just asked, how is he doing that? Through ways like that, stupid stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a test. There's a test. When you a teacher, you give a test. Okay? And that's what Eve, he gave Eve a test. He already knew what was going to come. He already knew Eve was going to go in. That's why he asked them, where were you? He knew they was hiding. He said, oh, we was hiding in the middle. You know what I'm saying? They out here picking leaves and stuff. People out here doing the same thing, trying to cover themselves up.
This is why we all have a choice.
Right.
Exactly. This is why we all have a choice.
What he tell us? He said, choose me. Choose me this day that you will serve. Choose me. But you take your choice and you choose whatever you want to choose. I ain't got no problem with that, but don't come in my path because I'm going down there. I'm not the one. I don't want to, fall off over in them ditches that people was falling off. They got tired. They said, I can't go no more with this man. This man is going.
Yeah, but you see people, that's what they chose, though. And that's what they chose.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm going to be like, I would be like Zach. I would climb up in that tree. I want to see what more can I hear? What more can I see?
You see it all you want, all around you every day.
Man, I'm telling you, this is, I said, woo. And then when I came in, I said, it's time to get in here. I had to get a download and stuff. I said, move out the way, devil. I got to get in here. Yeah, he working. He ain't playing. Mm-hmm. He is not playing. I just see people just transport for what they not even on nothing. They just he's so powerful, this devil's so powerful, he try to tell y'all, hey, look, I'm running, I'm trying to get around these mountains and all over the hills and down in depth and get people to follow me.
Oh yeah, you're gonna see through this discussion we're talking about.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm here and I'm about to put it on mute and listen.
Okay, like I said, and they overcame him because of the blood of the Lamb and because of the word of their witness. The word of their witness. And then you remember that, what we were just talking about, like how Satan entered Judas. You know what I'm saying? Then he entered Judas. So, yeah.
Yeah, man. All that great wrath. He's bringing a lot of confusion.
All right. Okay. John chapter 3. Go ahead.
John 3, 1 through 12.
All right. Anybody else want to read? Or y'all want me to keep going?
I hit it.
Okay, John 3, 1 through 12, all right?
And there was a man of the Pharisees, Nicodemus was his name, a ruler of the Judaism. This one came to Yahusha by night and said to him, Rabbi, we know that you are a teacher, come from Elohim. For no one is able to do these signs you do if Elohim is not with him. Yahusha answered and said to him, truly, truly, I say to you, unless one is born from above, he is unable to see the reign of Elohim.
Hey, I wanna say real quick. You see right off the back how the Messiah stopped him. He said, "Truly, truly, I say unto you, unless one is born from one above, he is unable to see the reign of Elohim." Like he already knew what Nicodemus was coming to ask him, and he just hit him with him right off the back. We talked about spiritual things right here, not physical. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He knew what he was talking about.
And the reign of Elohim, that's gonna be all spiritual, right?
That's right.
Nicodemus said to him, how is a man able to be born when he is old? Is he able to enter into his mother's womb a second time and be born? Right? So now we seeing right here, Nicodemus ain't have no understanding because Mashiach say you got to be born from above. He's still talking about the physical matters, not the spiritual, right?
Right.
Verse 5. Yahusha answered, truly, truly, I say to you, unless one is born of water and the Spirit, he is unable to enter into the reign of Elohim.
So you can't be born again through your mother's womb.
Right.
You got to be born again through the Spirit. Like Shauna, like you just said, like people don't see these things.
Right.
Because we deal with spiritual matters, right? And this is what I'm trying to explain right here. You're dealing with a spiritual matter and not fleshly things.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're starting to see, just like in the world, right? Everything is physical to the world, right? They ain't seeing spiritual matters. Just like Nicodemus wasn't understanding the spiritual matters right here, just the physical, right? How are you able to enter into your mother's womb again? That's physical, right?
That's right.
Hey, this is cold. Like he said, you must be born of the Spirit, like the Most High said. Blessed, everybody got eyes, but they can't see. And it's also like goes back to like you gotta have these spiritual eyes to see the things, the tricks of the devil. You know what I'm saying? Because some things might not look bad to the naked eye, but you might in the spirit is evil. But you gotta have that discernment.
Right.
Totally different.
Like you say, the spirit cringing with this.
It's called awareness. It's called discernment. It's called the spirit of discernment. That's when you can understand because you've been spiritually filled. That's why they say when you get spiritually filled, it's nothing that the devil can do. He stray away from
you. But check this out.
He already know he can't get certain things. But if you fall off track, he'll catch you.
That's a good point. When you fall off track, right? Let's praise Yah, right? Because how we defeat that. So he can't mess with you. We got to stay in his word, right?
Fall off track. You don't. This is when you fall off track when it's not of what? Yeah, but it's not. And and the devil know how to trap you because he know what you like, what you love, what you want, what you think you need.
And
you understand? That's where he comes. Yeah, that's when he try you. And when he try you, you start saying, wait a minute, but I start changing your ways.
And
we all
know it's gonna
in the word when you are taught from a kid, what he say, you go right back to it. Because he said he don't want to see no one not make it into what he has for us. He said he came for all, not for one. So you have to have a discernment to understand that. It says greater than he that get understanding. So we gotta understand it, and if you don't, you lost. But
in other words, Shauna, you gotta keep on the armor on. You know what I'm saying?
But the devil got some tricks out here now, y'all. They got the internet, they got people believing this and believing that instead of reading and taking it for themselves. They believe in what this person on the other line is saying. Like you got a chance right now, if someone's listening, to get an understanding, not no weird stuff like, oh yeah, we need you to understand. No, you need to understand. Not you gotta listen to some of the things that we're here and what we're about and what we're trying to get through. Then it starts from there. Everybody don't know. That's why you have to tell. My brother was talking about that, earlier this morning. So it's getting out there. People just have to take heed and listen. But okay, I'm sorry I didn't mean to interrupt. But go on in.
It's all good.
Okay. Verse 5, again, we'll go there. Yahushua answered, truly, truly, I say to you, unless one is born of water and the spirit, he is unable to enter into the reign of Elohim. That which has been born of the flesh is flesh, and that which has been born of the spirit is spirit. Do not marvel that I said to you, you have to be born from above. The wind blows where it wishes. Go ahead.
He said, don't even trip on that.
Right. He's going to explain a lot right here.
Right.
You know, this verse 8 explains a lot. Go ahead.
The wind blows where it wishes, and you hear the sound of it, but do not know where it comes from and where it goes.
There you go.
Yep.
So is everyone who has been born of the Spirit.
Right. You see how I say the wind blows where it wishes? You hear the sound of it, but it does not know where it comes from and where it goes.
Yeah.
Where it comes from and where it goes. So just like in Sirach, how I say the spirit will leave when ignorance comes in. That's when that spirit go, right? It'll abide with you for a minute, and if you start to fall off, that spirit to go.
Read. Can you go back up and read 7 and then read 8 for me?
Okay. Verse 7. Do not marvel that I said to you, you have to be born from above. The wind blows where it wishes, and you hear the sound of it, but do not know where it comes from and where it goes.
That's deep.
It is.
So is everyone who has been born of the Spirit.
Right. So that's why you got to always walk in the spirit, right? Because that spirit can leave you. You know, all it takes is too much ignorance, too much sin.
Yeah.
That spirit will leave you quick.
Yeah.
Anger.
I was just going to say foolishness. That's all it takes. You know,
right.
For you to be foolish and then you miss it. You miss it.
A little leaven, you know?
Man.
Yeah.
Can you say, that's when say righteous man falls? You know what I'm saying? 7 times and get back up again.
Get back up.
Indeed,
right.
Yeah.
And that's when you get back and know that you was on some fleshly matters, right? And get up and know that you gotta walk in what?
Right. And that's how you know we're in a fight, man. And we ain't in no physical fight. We in a fight.
And that's why the Messiah said, he that endures to the end, right? Because you gotta endure. Because if you, it's just like the prodigal son who left and then he came back. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. You gotta repent.
Right.
You get that spirit back, and you got, like I said, seek them 10 times more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you know the things that make that spirit go away from you.
Yeah,
you know?
Because you feel convicted after the foolishness that you've done. You feel convicted, man.
And that's right. And that's always, and that's also a good point, because the first thing you said is you have to repent. That's when he was letting you know you have to be born from above. Your first thing to be born from above is to what? Repent, right?
Repent.
Yeah.
Sir.
We get a Holy Spirit message going. You know what I'm saying? Pretty soon.
So, like that Proverbs real quick, 22. I told my kids this too. And you brought up the prodigal son, and this goes with what we're talking about, that we know it's a fight. Because even Proverbs 22:6 says, train up a child in the way that he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. So it's saying like,
that's what I was just saying earlier.
Yeah, like we know, like even the Most High know, like look, train up your child, cause they're gonna have to go through some warfare. They might fall a few times.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
When he see it.
Right. They might fall. You could, no matter how much No matter
Yeah,
how much game you giving them,
Yeah.
they might fall for it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, but you feel
Mhm.
convicted, so you want to repent.
Right.
You know,
Mhm.
you be like, "Whoa, this is, you know, when it come upon you, it comes upon you."
It's
Like you
real.
say, you train that child up and they won't depart from it. But like I said, you know what I'm saying, you keep that armor on so that you may withstand. Not saying they're not gonna go through things, but you'll be able to
Right.
withstand.
You'll be
Right,
able to
Yeah.
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 handle it. You'll be able to know what to do.
right.
That's a
Yeah, that's
whole
real
thing.
talk.
Everybody go
That's
through
real. I
stuff.
like that. He said, "Put the armor on so that they will withstand." Because we can see, like people that be in the world that might not have got trained up. We kind of see how the devil. You know what I'm saying? Not
Boy.
saying that you
Trap
couldn't
you.
have got this truth as an adult, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying we see how far gone somebody could be that didn't even have. Let's just say Christianity. You know what I'm saying? Anything with the Most High,
Anything. Yeah.
they be out there, bro.
And that's why again what we just read is say that which is born of the flesh is flesh. This world
Yeah.
only deals with fleshly matters, right?
Right.
That's all this world's about. That's why Mashiach told us don't walk in this world, but don't walk in the ways of this world, because they are
Right.
flesh. All they matters are fleshly, right? He
Yeah.
said be concerned with what spiritual matters, right?
Yeah.
But that's when we step in and we get a person, because you know some people, do you know they don't even know who Yah is, don't know anything about even the God, the Lord, because they've been taught in different ways. But
Right.
once they hear the truth, they may be able to change from them.
Once they read the truth. Yep.
But there you go, because some people, you know, I've heard stories where people were born, their family was druggists from the time they were born, and da 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 da, yada yada. You know what I'm saying? So if they don't know who, that's where we come into play for them to know. You know, because everybody is not like wasn't born, you know, into some families that, you know, taught them, you know, something of the truth about it. And I've heard it. That's, you know, you just, you know, you understand what I'm saying. So, you know, you got to lead people. That's why he went down. He started baptizing. He told John, you know, they started getting these people to be born of the Spirit. And that's the only way you go in when you repent, and, you know, you get baptized, and you got to, you know, start from there.
Okay. Go ahead,
Verse 9. Nicodemus answered and said to him, how is it possible for this to take place? Yahusha answered and said to him, are you the teacher of Israel and do not know this?
Man.
Nicodemus is fleshly. That's why, right?
Right.
Yeah. I was about to say that. Yeah, straight fleshly, right?
You just say
Like
yeah,
that's like
fleshy matter.
like you said, they wash their hands and stuff like that. I like the Pharisees stuff.
Right.
Read that again. I didn't hear that. You went down.
Verse 10. Yahusha answered and said to him, are you the teacher of Israel and do not know this? Know means to have knowledge of, right?
Right.
But again, like we said, he's fleshly, right? Verse 11. Truly, truly, I say to you, we speak what we know and witness what we have seen, and you do not receive our witness. If you do not believe when I spoke to you about earthly matters, how are you going to believe when I speak to you about heavenly matters? Right? Because everything in the heavenlies is what?
It's in the heavenlies. It's spiritual. Exactly. Right. Yep. That's why I want us to kind of break that down, this verse, man, because if you tell somebody you're dealing with a spiritual warfare, you can't fight Satan, neither of his minions physically, right? It's spiritually. It's all spiritual.
Right.
Facts, so that means you got to have knowledge of the spiritual then.
Yeah.
All right. Ephesians 5.
Born from above.
I can read it up.
Okay, Ephesians 5, 1 through 13.
All right. Become then imitators of Elohim as beloved children.
Oh, I don't want to cut you off right here, but I know Adam been getting definitions. Can we get one definition also?
What you got?
Imitators.
Imitators.
Because that's who we supposed to be imitating, right? We supposed to be imitating the Most High. The Most High sent his son, his set apart one, that we would imitate him, right?
And, you know, that's deep though. Like we talking about spiritual warfare,
Right.
and to imitate Elohim. So it's telling you how to fight, you know, in the spirit, right? To be like Mashiach, to
Right.
imitate.
It's telling you to imitate somebody that's spiritual.
Yeah.
Right.
Elohim is spirit. That's what the scriptures say. Elohim is spirit. Come on.
Look at that.
Take or follow as a model. Come on, man.
Yep.
Take
And
or
then
follow as
just
a model.
imitate. Yep. Same thing as imitators, right? A person who copies the behavior or actions of another.
Right. Right. And that's what we're supposed to be doing. Copying Mashiach. Right?
That's right. That's right.
That's all we're going. I just want to, jump on that real quick, because that's nasty. Be
Well,
imitated to the Most High. Go ahead.
even when you look at when Satan tried to tempt the Mashiach, how did he defeat him?
Right. Okay, go ahead.
Right.
Talk about it.
It was all by scripture.
All by script, right? All by script, right?
It was nothing physical. It was nothing physical. He didn't punch him. You know what I'm saying?
Nothing.
It was all by script.
It was scripture.
And now we understand why it's saying imitate Elohim, because if we go back even to the Torah, right? It says, be perfect as Yah, your Elohim, is perfect. Imitate him, right?
Yeah.
So,
Hey, you got that Revelation 1 and 3 in here or nah?
1 and 3? No.
Hey, Adam, you gotta watch these brothers. They love to add to the discussion.
Wait, hold on.
We love it,
Adam,
we love it, man.
Adam, you said you don't got it?
No, we don't got it. Nope.
Can we pull that up real quick after I just said that, please? We have to.
Please, we have to.
Here we go. It says, blessed is he who reads and those who hear the words of this prophecy and guard what is written in it, for the time is near. Right? So you got to read out and guard the word like Mashiach did. That's what he did.
Yeah. We got to imitate that every day.
Take that. Like you said, the word.
Shabbat shalom, y'all.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
All praises. Yeah.
Gotta get, dang, that was good.
I don't know what verse we was on.
You on 2.
2?
Well, we can start back at 1 though. This might as well start back at 1.
Okay.
Become then imitators of Elohim as beloved children, and walk in love as Messiah also has loved us.
Imitation.
And gave himself for us a gift and an offering to Elohim for a sweet smelling fragrance.
Wow.
Man.
So
What
now,
say? What greater gift is a man sacrifice himself for his friend? You know what I'm saying, Shaq?
Wait, what?
Man, I ain't dealing with you today. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all go, man.
Getting deep today. You always want to take it to some physical matters. You know what I'm saying? We in the spirit. You feel me?
Man. Look at him.
Hey, but
Boy, he hate to hear the truth, boy. He hate to hear the truth. I tell you.
Hey, but it also says as an offering to Elohim for a sweet smelling fragrance, right? So that's what you used to do when you used to sacrifice the fat of bulls and goats, right? Offering it up as a sweet smelling fragrance. But Mashiach did that with his blood, man. I'll pray.
He offered himself, exactly. He offered himself.
Right on. Hey, y'all gotta watch these. Y'all gotta watch these Nicodemus in the assembly, man. I'm telling you. You gotta be born from above. Right? Go ahead, though.
All right. But whoring and all uncleanliness or greed of gain let it not even be named among you,
Mm.
as is proper among set apart ones.
What else, huh?
All right. Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor coarse jesting, which are not fitting, but rather thanksgiving.
All right, no joking around about it, right? No coarse jesting.
Mm. Okay. For this you know that no one who whores, nor unclean one, nor one greedy of gain, who is an idolater, has any inheritance in the reign of Messiah and Elohim. What's coarse gesturing? What's that? What that mean?
Coarse gesturing. It's like being foolish or making light of it, like a joke.
Okay.
You want to look it up? Let's look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get that.
Gesturing, right?
Of course.
What is C? C-O-A-R-S-E.
Gesturing. Oh, jesting.
Yep. Gesturing.
There you go.
Gesturing. Gesturing.
Is it gesturing?
T-E-R.
T-E-R.
Same thing. Same thing. And you can see right there. It's like, what it say? Joking. You know what I'm saying?
Coarse jesting.
Being foolish, a clown in a clownish way.
Let's see. It's wrong.
Basically, it's like joking, hurting somebody's feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right.
It says, yeah. Oh, okay. Yep.
And when a person start getting mad, it's time to end it.
Cruel joking and attempts to elect lives by crossing a line into impropriety. Okay.
Y'all brothers, stop all that coarse jesting.
Hey.
Is that like when like a white person call a black person a nigger, or a black person call a white person a cracker?
I don't think so.
Hey, now, cause it says to attempts to elicit laughs. So you're trying to get people to laugh by crossing a line into improprieties, right?
So you don't mock the Bible with a joke, then, right? In other words, don't be blasphemous against the word of the Most High by playing around.
Right.
Yeah, crossing the line.
Yeah.
It was kind of like when Will Smith slapped dude,
Okay.
And smacked him, was making that joke.
Something too.
Right.
That.
Okay. You said this?
Okay, yeah, I get it now though. Kind of like just bullying for real, right?
Being a clown about things, like the comedian who's mocking the Most High.
Oh, stuff like that.
And
oh, that's black.
Fell down and cracked their head. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Or like you see somebody mother that's probably smoking a pipe, and then you try to make jokes about it. You know what I'm saying?
That too. Yeah, that too. Yeah, like a serious matter, right? Like, yeah.
It's a
that's a good
serious
point
matter,
too.
and you're making a joke about it.
Yeah. See, man, that's a good point.
All right. So we good, Shad. We can still talk about brothers that say pop, then. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man, I say pop.
You say Adam?
I say
you
pop.
Say pop.
I say pop.
Right.
Just because they like baking soda. Because they like baking soda.
Baking soda.
Yeah, they like that soda.
Hey, don't offend them pop boys right now. We're in the spirit.
All right, we in the spirit right now.
They used to say pop anyway, though.
Right. They just don't understand you.
I don't know about that. Are you ready?
See, soda was when we couldn't even drink it.
Right.
Hey, y'all man, leave him alone. You know you got Marvin. He gonna bring some history on you.
Y'all trying to take us back to slavery days.
Right, that's what they doing now. South boys down south. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
South. Yeah. We
Oh,
free. We free. We can drink any kind of pop we want.
We got it. We can do
There
whatever
you
we
go.
want. Say pop. We can
You
do
know
whatever
what I'm
we
saying?
want.
We can drink any kind of pop we want, all right?
Right.
We ain't gotta be limited to just soda. You can have a
oh,
soda.
there you go. There you go.
Right.
Like
Sound like you
man.
begging.
Hey, that boy manning
Yeah.
up. You trying to man up over there. Let's go.
That's,
Yeah.
you
Verse
know,
5.
that's how they talk to slavery.
Verse
That's
5.
how it was when I used
Pop
to
is
live in
slang.
El Paso.
Pop is
Live in El
slang.
Paso. And it was like that. You know?
It's just like they say yes, we say yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Brother right here.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Don't get him started.
Hey, they'll be like, yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. How you doing, sir? They go in the store, greet. Yes, sir. How you doing, sir?
All right. I'll leave y'all alone, man.
Hey,
Oh yeah.
gotta find a way to put the host on.
And we even use it. We see our dad. What's up, Pop? That's my pops right there. What y'all say? That's my soda? Get out of here. Let's go, man. That's my soda, man. Yeah.
What up, Soda?
My soda. Boy, I said,
Hey, y'all man, you might be right about them the Mexicans. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? You know, he talking about, remember last night he talking about enchilada. You know, they don't put no S on there. They don't put no S on there, and there you go. It's the difference between a pops and pop. You know what I'm saying? Come on, verse 5.
that's my pops right there. Let's
Verse
go.
5. All right, for this you know that no one who whores, nor unclean one, nor one greedy of gain, who is an idolater, has any inheritance in the reign of Messiah and Elohim.
No means no.
Yeah, he said no one greedy of gain who is an idolater. That means you idolatry of money. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. That's crazy. I never. Yeah, that's exactly what that is, bro.
That's for real.
Yeah, because you do anything to get that money, that dollar, right?
Right. You made that money. That's dope. That's it. All right.
Made me an OnlyFans. Just so I can get paid. That's selling yourself. Go ahead, though.
Got it. Let no one deceive you with empty words, for because of these, the wrath of Elohim comes upon the sons of disobedience.
And we just read that definition of wrath. Look at all them different words you see in wrath.
Right.
Wrath of Elohim comes upon the sons of disobedience. And then when you look at the disobedience, it's the opposite of someone that's divine, right? That's the opposite.
Yeah.
And that's what we were just talking about last week about that obedience, right? You're gonna be obedient to the one that you serve, right? So they say they not if they not serving the Most High, they the sons of disobedience.
Right. Right. So that's what we're looking for. We're dealing with this spiritual warfare. Anything opposite of how you're supposed to be when you walk in like Mashiach.
Disobedient, then, ain't it?
Yeah. Therefore, do not become partakers with them. That's a big one right there. I said, don't become partakers with them.
Partakers with the sons of disobedience, because that means you're gonna be walking in disobedience also.
So many ways you can do it.
That's why the words say, can two walk together lest they be agreed?
You agree? Because you can't sit there and like something that don't agree with your spirit. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna walk away from it.
And that's exactly what we're talking about right now. What Yamel say, just quote it, can two walk together unless they are in agreement? That means basically what we're talking about right now. The flesh can't walk with the spirit.
Right. It's born of the flesh is the flesh.
Right.
Born of the spirit.
And once you're born of that spirit, a lot of stuff in this world gonna make you just like can't be around it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's your spirit.
Ears don't like it no more, you know. You don't like to hear certain things no more.
And this is when not to get off topic, but this is when like movies that come out and people be like, man, you know, like you over righteous or something like that, but they don't see it. They don't got those spiritual eyes to see like what we
Yeah,
may see. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like I said, once your spiritual eyes is open, you start seeing things that even you would have been like, well, you thought might have been okay. Now you looking at it like, dang, it's really not okay. You start to really realize a lot of stuff around us is not okay. And some of the stuff is so hard to even get away from. You know what I'm saying? Because we live in Satan's world. But you gotta know what I'm saying. Like even like the
oh
days of
yeah.
the week, stuff like that. You know, you start finding out Monday, Tuesday, and all that stuff is named after gods. You like, dang.
You sound stupid to everybody else. That's who's not in the truth though.
Right.
Even down to music, right? Even
Yeah,
down to the music you listen
yeah.
to.
Okay. For you were once darkness,
Hmm. That's what we
but
just read.
now
That's what we just read earlier, right? In Revelations. It say, for you were once darkness. Because what we read in Revelations, Satan led everybody astray.
right.
Yeah.
The whole world astray, right?
Right up.
You were once listening to T.I., now you bumping Blood of the King.
Yeah, straight up.
And Eshawn
You know
Burger.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Eshawn Burger, gonna throw that out there
You
for
gonna have
him.
to slip that in there.
Yeah, I heard you. I heard you.
Yeah.
but now, but now you are light and the master.
Mm-hmm.
Walk as children of light.
Walk as children of Mashiach, man. Come on. That same one we supposed to imitate, right?
Right. This is good. For the fruit of the spirit is in all goodness and righteousness and truth.
Hey, Adam, tell me to
Man.
read it right. It say the fruit of the flesh is in all goodness. Read it right.
No. The fruit of the spirit is in all goodness and righteousness. And the big one is truth, for real, for real.
Goodness, righteousness, and truth.
Truth, man.
Anything opposite of that, then you disobedient, then, right?
So, yeah, we can't be out here dealing with no lies, man.
Yeah.
And truth, man, straight up, man.
All good.
Right. And and it's so big, cause we see a whole lot of falsehood around us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And like we said, you ain't gonna know or even understand that it's falsehood unless it's revealed by the spirit, unless you walking in the spirit.
Right. And you know what I love, and I love to say this too. You see it all around you every day. One of my sayings is, "Ain't nothing new under the sun, man." It just make you think back, way back when it all started, man. It's just been going on in different ways, man.
True.
Works of darkness.
Proving what is well, and like I say, ain't nothing new under the sun, and they just dress it up differently. You know what I mean? Each as time go by, it be the same thing, just dressed up different. That's why Christmas got like 100 gods behind it. You be like Nimrod, Mithra, Saturnalia. It's the same thing, just dressed up different.
Yep.
Yep.
My bad. Dealing with falsehoods. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just dealing with the truth. Because it's false, you could add and add and add to it. That's why the words say don't add to the word. You know what I'm saying? Truth is truth. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. All right, let's do it up. Proving what is well pleasing to the master.
All praises. So now Paul even right here giving us hints what's well pleasing to the Most High, right? Having the fruits of the spirit, which is what? Goodness, righteous, and truth, right? And proving when you walk in these things, it's gonna be well pleasing to the master, man. All praises.
All praises, real talk. All praises. And have no fellowship with the fruitless works. Excuse me. I'm gonna go to the top. And have no fellowship with the fruitless works of darkness, but rather convict them.
That's a real deal statement right there, right?
Yeah, rather convict them, right?
Right.
So that means don't go key with them, but it say
Right.
convict them and
But
what they doing, right?
What do you do when you convict somebody, right? You holding them to the truth of what they done.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Go ahead. I had to let you get it out. 'Cause I
Yep.
was gonna try to beat you to it.
Hey, yeah, you holding them to it, right? That's what that's what we doing too, right?
Right.
That's what we doing. The same thing when they say reprove and expose. You hold them to it. You know, I'm gonna hold you to the truth. But if you in darkness, man, I'm gonna convict you. You don't hold you to the truth of your darkness. I'm gonna expose you.
And that's why the words say, "Do you hate me because I tell you the truth?"
Man, right?
You know, they ain't trying to hear that. They want to be in darkness. They said, "Turn the light off." We don't want the light on. Yeah.
Hey, you say on the cartoon when that little bulb come across their head, that light bulb come across their head, they just they like, nah, turn that off. They break that light bulb, huh?
Yeah, break that light bulb, huh? It hurt their eyes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For it is a shame even to speak of what is done by them in secret.
That's bad.
But all matters.
These days, it's not a shame to speak what they done in secret, right?
Not no more.
To them, right? To them that believe they doing all good, but look what it say. It is a shame even to speak of what is done by them in secret. That's a shame. That's bad, and it's a shame because they out here acting like fools and they folly. But it's a shame. It's a shame. To them, it's not.
But now they tell us what time we in though, because now it's not a shame. They'll put it in every rap song. They'll put it in every TV show, right? These things will be shameful, right? You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, these things were shameful. Now it's everywhere.
Yep, that's that lawlessness increasing.
Right.
But all matters being convicted are manifested by the light. For whatever is manifested is light.
Right on. All praises.
Hey, go ahead, just 14 too.
I'm about to say that. I'm about to say, can I hit this 14 now?
Yeah.
All right, let me go back to the top. But all matters being convicted are manifested by the light. For whatever is manifested is light. That is why he says, wake up, you who sleep, and arise from the dead. And Messiah shall shine on you.
I like that. Right. He ain't talking about being physically dead, is he? He talking about wake up from the dead.
Spiritual dead.
Spiritual dead. Right? Exactly. All right. That
or
any guys video 104.
Okay.
To Hindus,
goes to God and say,
to Hindus, there's not one God, there are millions.
Wait,
Here's a little thoroughfare.
You gotta talk about that.
In the holy city of Varanasi,
millions?
Hindu deity.
Yeah.
Here's a little thoroughfare.
Well, Sam, you gotta say lie on that. Millions. How you come up with millions of gods for you to worship? Come on, man.
I mean, every single one from every single generation kept on coming up with a god.
Dude.
I gotta say something. I was gonna say that goes back to what we talked about earlier. They're not walking in truth, so because it's a lie, ain't nothing new under the sun. Like I said, they could just add on.
Right.
Right.
Because it's only one truth. It's only one truth.
Right up,
so being in that folly, being in that false, like you just said, Mel, you can add on to whatever you want to, and this is all they done. Seriously.
And that's what a lie is, huh? That's what a lie is. Think about when you used to have to when you told a lie back in the day, right? You used to have to add on to it to make it real or to make it sound real.
Yeah.
So
that's just like Abraham. You know, and his father had all them gods. You know, they just the works of man's hands. They make something. Oh, this is a god.
Mm-hmm.
And you
They
bring
give it a
that up.
name.
And you bringing that up. That's why they have 1 million to this day. Because during that time, Tehran had about 100 of them. Right?
Right.
And that's way during 2000 BC. They had 100 gods. So now when you wait in 2025, now they up to 1 million. You just adding on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
There's not one God, there are millions.
Busy little thoroughfare.
In the holy city of Varanasi, I'm meeting historian Binda Paranjape to find out how Hindus see their gods.
At every corner of the lane, and just you see anywhere and you see a shrine, and no corner they can leave without having a god there. So like we have got this small little shrine here, and it has got that elephant-headed god, Ganesha.
Ganesha.
Yeah. So God removes the obstacles.
Removes obstacles.
Yeah.
Hindu deities come in many forms. Some are male.
Hey, and then, you know, they say that they got many gods, right? So some people still call the Most High, they say his name is what? God or Lord, right? But they are calling these what? Gods, right? But then even these mighty ones that they worship, they got a name for them. They got a name for him. So you can't just say his name is Lord or God, right? With no name. Even these false mighty ones have names, man. Come on. That's how we want to say. Go ahead.
Good point.
Some female. Some are part human, part animal. Each one has its specific powers.
So she's a goddess of disease. So
disease.
So when you're deceased, your body gets inflamed. Then you invoke her, and she sends the cool breeze, and the body gets cool.
All right. Here's a question for you. You've got a choice of how many?
Millions.
Millions of gods. How do you choose?
Usually it's the family. Each family has got one family deity, and that is passed on to the next generation. Or sometimes in the times of distress, one goes to a god and say, or goddess, that please take me out of this difficult times, and forever I'll worship you as my personal god or goddess.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah, think about that, right? So many of them, and she said it, you know, it starts with family. Every family has their own God. So that's from generation to generation to generation to generation. How do you choose that, man? How do you, dude? Makes no sense, man. This video.
In the middle, the main person, so the main temple, and on the four corners, four subordinates. That couple, they are making love. Looking at them, the other couple, they have started making love. Okay. But you see under the legs of that couple which is in the middle, there is one man. Okay? He is also excited, but he haven't found anyone. So when he haven't found anyone, so he started doing self-service. Yes.
This sounds like a Playboy Channel movie to me. This whole temple's a big Playboy Channel movie.
His statue with a beard, and when you see his beard, he always have a knot in his beard. So whenever you see a statue with a knot in the beard, that's fire god.
That's fire god.
Then when we see right downwards of that fire god, we have a couple embracing each other. Actually, there they have shown us the love of paradise, like God's life. We can see that this is the love of the materialistic world, means our world. Both of them are standing on one leg. That's their concentration.
It's pretty
That
good
is why
balance,
they used to
yes.
seek a peaceful place to have that concentration. In those days, people they used to have sometimes 2 or 3 wives. So this gentleman, he had 2 wives. You see, this gentleman, he is making love with his first wife, but when you see his wife, she is standing on her toes and she is holding his hair just and pulling his head down to have eye contact. Okay? At the same time, his other lady, she is crying. You know why she is crying?
She's jealous?
No. She's not jealous.
Okay.
She is thinking that, oh my God, I am more shorter than this. And when it will be my turn, what I will do. That red powder, you must have seen different ladies on their head.
Yes.
In the center parting.
Right, that they're married, yeah.
So that vermilion powder is something which married ladies, they always put on their head. Okay.
Let me just get this straight. That's a dog having sex with a woman.
Yes.
Okay. Just
God
want to
is
be clear.
having sex with the woman, and so that other man, he have seen that woman doing this, so he went to the king.
And complained at her.
He complained to the
Right.
king, and then king have asked his soldiers to bring that lady to him. So you see those soldiers, they brought that lady, and now with joining hands, she is asking for a pardon to the king.
Did she get it?
Well, maybe the king have told her that.
I would say no.
Why it was dog.
So
Everything we just saying, them Gentiles do these things.
Yeah,
Exactly.
nah.
yeah, but
What'd you say, Yamel?
I was thinking that, bro. I was like, yo.
I saw a video back in the day with a woman and a horse.
I seen
Wow.
that video too. I seen
Wow.
that video too.
It killed her, didn't it? It killed her, right?
I don't know, but
Nah, this
I don't know.
back in the day. This one I was probably about 20.
she crazy, man. See, but check this out though, man. Looking at that, look how they make you think though. How they come up with their own stories. What you looking at is all lustful thoughts, evil,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
And then like you think about them Hollywood parties.
That
Same
too.
thing.
But
That's
guess
them
what though?
guys that they worship. And them guys had them doing these things.
Yeah.
Right.
And check it out. If anybody want to learn more about that, right? You can go to the Last 2 Million Years book on page 159. It's a temple. They talk about this temple. It's
I
crazy,
could
man.
have
It's
pulled
wild.
that out. We could have pulled that out. I
In the
got the
Last 2
book.
Million Years book.
Yeah, I could have screenshot it and put it on the screen.
Yeah, page 159, man.
What was the name of that temple again?
It is my bad.
Yo, that joint is crazy. That was in India, bro?
Yeah. Yeah.
All they gods.
Yeah,
temple.
yeah, man. I'm looking up like, man, let me see what all these people been doing down.
Man, look. It's called the Hindu temple that reaches like a mountain towards the sky. The soaring tower of Kandahariya, Mahadev temple.
Did you want me to get that book Last 2 Million Years and bring it out, or?
I mean, you can it's just right there. You can take a screenshot of it right there. The writing is very small though.
And that tower need to go down. That's crazy.
Hey, back in the day, you say them the pillars that the Most High say tear down out?
Yeah, bro.
But check this out. Who taught the nations their ways though?
You say Enoch? I don't know.
I said I don't want to hear that.
Right? It's true though, right? But who taught the nation their ways though, right?
Hey, we got to start looking at y'all mail his Danite ancestors.
Who's talking about? Let's see.
Hey, but check it out though, because when the children of Israel came from out of Egypt, when he was telling these things, don't lay with animals and things like that. And come on, man, who taught the nations their ways?
No,
I don't know about the animals.
He was telling that to them, right?
That's why I say don't walk in the ways of the nations. I don't know about them
But
animals.
who was he telling that
Yeah,
to?
he was probably Yeah, we ain't do all that stuff, right?
Yeah, that's why
You
he
know
said
what I'm saying?
the ways of the
Hey,
nation.
because before
Hey,
Israel was a nation, they was doing wicked things like this.
and y'all
So,
just don't. You
so
just
when
don't
he
want to
say,
accept it. I think you just
hey,
don't want to accept
when
it.
he say we taught the nation their ways, it mean like
Yeah.
disobedience and like
Yeah, that's what I mean too. But
and to follow after others. You know what I'm
I
saying?
want to find that
Because we,
scripture though when he was telling
because
them
we
things
can't
not to
read
do.
about some of these things these other nations do. You know what I'm saying?
True that. True.
I don't
Want
know
to
if
find
that
it though.
applies to like everything these people do. We taught them. You know
Well,
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I would,
everything they do.
what I would say is
We
this, like
teach them everything. Hey, because we taught them how to take baths and stuff. So
Right.
you know.
And that's for real. 'Cause you can go read that. And I think it's in the 13th tribe. When them people went over there and seen them Europeans, they used to like take hot saunas and then they used to just scrape the dirt off of them. You feel me?
Yeah. What was it,
But
Leviticus 18 through 22 and 23, right?
Hey,
I
what
want
page is that in the last 2 million years, Adam?
That's page 159.
159.
to say something. I gotta say this though because yo, like I done lost. You know what I mean? A lot of like my view of my people is no longer the same. You know what I mean? Like when I was younger, I used to say, you know, we all used to be like, yo, that Gentile stuff. You know, like you know what I'm saying when we say Gentile stuff. But now we can see our people doing Gentile stuff, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We hear about.
And that's when we learned the ways of the nations, huh?
Okay,
Right.
so that's what I'm saying, huh? So now we see the gods in which these nations follow, and we look at our history of our people not wanting to follow the Most High, but wanting to follow the gods of these nations, and we see what these gods of these nations promote. Are people going to do and imitate their gods that they want to follow?
Right.
You know
And then they get the ignorance and foolishness from us then, right?
So they probably sleeping with the animals just like the nations, and they doing all that just like the nations because we know that in Hollywood they're doing that debauchery stuff.
They are.
And the thing is, they put it on us because they know that we trendsetters. So we start doing these abominations that they know that the world gonna start doing these abominations. Because
monkey see, monkey do, huh?
The Most High told us to be priests to other nations, right? Because if we was walking in righteousness, guess what the nations would be doing?
Walking in righteousness.
Right.
Walking in righteousness.
So who taught them their ways? I still want to know, but you know, I
see on certain things though, right?
Okay, yeah, you gotta be real specific right there. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
I mean, we can't get real specific because we just got what we got in there in the same Leviticus. So
but
make you think though.
They doing it now.
Yeah.
You know, all the debauchery you could think of, we into it now.
And we into it now.
I mean, yeah.
Hey, Shag, ain't nothing new under the sun though.
Ain't nothing new
under the sun. But you have to have thought that when we was taught our laws, I mean, I don't believe it was no us land with animals. Once he told us that this was an abomination.
Right.
So for us to teach other nations, no, this was stuff that the other nations was doing themselves anyway.
Yeah,
and like you said,
well, even true that. Even if they was doing it,
the other nations was doing.
Right.
All right, yeah. I was gonna say, so even if they was doing it, then should we end up doing it too? Just like that.
You got to think about where Abraham come from, you know, and the nation was started through Abraham. You know what I'm saying? And he come from that paganism. So as he had kids and stuff like that, you know, they talked to him. You know what I'm saying?
And that's why the Most High told Abraham to leave that land, right?
Right.
Come into a land that I'm gonna show you, right?
Okay. Okay, all praise. All right, so okay.
Our people wasn't having sex with animals and stuff like that, man. We
didn't start it, but we doing it.
We ain't started.
We wasn't doing it. We wasn't even doing it.
Hey man, who was he talking to then when he said, "Don't lay with beasts"?
Yeah, don't.
Yeah, he was letting us know
that other nations do it. That other
nations do it.
So you can't say, hey, so do you believe when he said don't do it, do you think not one person did it?
Come on.
No,
Now we being real. We being journeymen now. We can't be journeymen.
I'm being real. This man make you think.
Cause we coming out of Egypt, bro. Remember, we not talking. He said when he was saying in Leviticus, we talking Leviticus now. Now we talking about coming out of Egypt. Now we talking about our people that was walking like the nations. Cause remember what happened when Moses went up to God? He came down. They worshiping the damn bull again.
Right, and so then after they said we would do all that you said to do, and they still didn't do it.
Hey, I don't know, Adam. You might have an argument because I think I remember a dude growing up with a dude that had sex with a dog.
Dude, I used to hear stories in the hood, people in the hood, crackheads having sex with dogs and stuff like that.
That's some pop boys right there. That's some pop boys right there.
What you mean? You said they had a pop shag and they did that.
Man, y'all gotta be laughing over here.
Give me that pop. Let me see that dog.
I'm sitting there cracking up.
What did you say, Barb?
I'm sitting there cracking up.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I think I've heard that before. Back when I was younger.
If we didn't
heard that in the South. We ain't heard that down here.
If we didn't teach the world about the Most High, we didn't teach them nothing. Yeah. So we didn't teach them a thing, but wickedness. If we didn't teach them,
right?
You know,
I had to ask that question though because it make you think.
I don't know about the animals.
Hey, I'm just saying, man. Hey, I had to ask that question, man. I mean, it make you think, man. He told us, right? Somebody said, man, go give me that RC Pop and give me that German Shepherd. And hey.
Those some pop boys, y'all, man. I told you.
Give me that ginger ale soda and give me that pit.
Yeah, that's what they was doing. Especially them brothers in Texas. Fingernails and stuff.
I can put my
fingernails out there. They got that dirty ass water out there.
Hey, that's rude, now you being rude and offensive. He's coarse gesturing. He's coarse gesturing. That's what he's doing. Coarse gesturing. Go read that Ephesians. We gotta circle back and read Ephesians again.
He's trying to get us out there and baptize in Galveston, that dirty black water and stuff.
We gotta read this Ephesians again. This brother ain't getting no understanding. This brother ain't getting no understanding. Let's read it again. Come on.
Hey, am I still who reading now?
I hit it.
18, 21 through 40.
21 through 40? Okay.
All right, 21. And Eliyahu came to all the people and said, how long would you keep hopping between two opinions? If Yahweh is Elohim, follow him. And if Baal, follow him. But the people answered him not a word.
That's crazy right there.
They can't even answer him.
Right. Hey, so say Baal right now, should we still use the translation of Baal to translate the Lord? Because it clearly says if you want to serve Elohim, if Yahuwah is Elohim, right? Clearly a name, follow him. And if Baal, and they say Baal translates to what? Lord, follow him. 22. Because you can go tell people his name all day and they still gonna say the same thing. Baal or Lord, right? And Eliyahu said to the people.
Capital L. Using capital L though.
Yeah, using capital L, right. 22. And Eliyahu said to the people, I alone am left a prophet of Yahuwah, but the prophets of Baal are 450 men.
450.
Come on. That go back to that testament of Abraham when it say on 7,000, right? 1 in 7,000 gonna be saved. This is 1 in 450 right here.
Yeah.
Now, let them give us 2 bulls, and let them choose 1 bull for themselves, and cut it in pieces, and lay it on the wood, but set no fire. And I prepare the other bull, and I shall lay it on the wood, but set no fire. Right? So you see how the prophet did right here. He basically said, you pick your bull. Because I don't want you to pick, I don't want me to pick my bull and you be like, oh, nah, because you knew that was going to happen. Pick your bull first, right? 24. And you shall call on the name of your mighty one, right? So we already just read about these mighty ones that we were just looking at in the video. They had names. They had names. They said, this God is so-and-so, right? And you shall call on the name of your mighty one. He didn't even just say Baal right here. He didn't just say, and you shall call on the name Baal, right?
Your mighty one. Because
your mighty one. You got 1 million of them.
Yeah, plenty of them. Exactly. You got plenty of them.
That's why we know again. Baal translates the Lord. Go ahead, y'all, Mel.
And that's why it's important to know the name of the Most High right here. That's why I tell people, like, especially in Christian churches, why you don't use his name? Because, like he said, you should call the name of your mighty one. The Most High has a name, right? Call him the Most High. These are other titles you're talking about. So that's why that name's important. You get what I'm saying?
Right. Without the name, it's like you almost watering them down.
Yeah.
And that's just like bringing his name to naught.
Real quick, when you say the name, at least no room for confusion. There you go. You know who you did it.
You know who we dealing with when we say that.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. 24. And you shall call on the name of your mighty one, and I call on the name of Yahoo. And the Elohim who answers by fire, he is Elohim. So all the people answered and said, the word is good, right? That's what they say in Brooklyn, right, y'all, Mel? The word is bomb, right?
Okay.
25.
His son after.
Nah, they said word.
Yeah. 25. And Eliyahu said to the prophets of Baal, right? So prophets of Baal have many what? Mighty ones. 1 million of them, right? Choose 1 bull for yourself and prepare it first. For you are many, right? It's 450 of y'all. Y'all all got a different God. Come on. And call on the name of your mighty one, but set no fire, right? So all these 450 prophets of Baal was calling on their own mighty one. You just seen the statue he showed in the video. It's over 450 on that statue look like, right?
Man, over. Yeah.
So they took the bull, which was given them, and prepared it, and called on the name of Baal from morning even until noon, saying, "Oh, Baal, answer us." But there was no voice, and no one answered. And they leaped about the slaughter place which they had made. And it came to be at noon that Eliyahu taunted them, right? Eliyahu taunted them, right? He's zealous for the Most High. He started taunting them, right? And said, cry out loud. For he is a mighty one. He is meditating, or he is busy, or he is on a journey. Or it could be that he is asleep and has to be awakened. Right?
Cry loud.
Come on, that's how our ancestors did. Not y'all male ancestors, but our ancestors, right?
Cry loud, scream and yell for him.
Right, he sleep.
He come down. He come down.
Right.
We a mighty one.
28. And they cried aloud, right? He started taunting them, and they did what? And they cried aloud.
Cried louder.
And they cut themselves according to their ruling, right? According to their ruling. This ain't no ruling of even their mighty one.
Their ruling, their own understanding.
Right.
Their ruling.
with knives and spears until the blood gushed out of them.
Yeah.
And it came to be when midday was past that they prophesied until the time of bringing the evening offering. But there was no voice, and no one answered, and no one paying attention.
Nobody still ain't paying attention.
Then Eliyahu said to all the people, come closer to me. And all the people came closer to him. And he repaired the slaughter place of Yahuwah that was broken down. And Eliyahu took 12 stones, according to the number of the tribes of the sons of Jacob, to whom the word of Yahuwah had come, saying, Israel is your name. Right? So that go back to what we was talking about earlier. Everybody ain't no Israelite. Some of these brothers is just Jacobites. Right? And with the
you mean it not spiritual, huh?
Not spiritual, not spiritual. And with the stones, he built a slaughter place in the name of Yahuwah. And he made a trench around the slaughter place large enough to hold 2 seeds of seed. And he arranged the wood and cut the bull in pieces and laid it on the wood and said, fill 4 jars with water and pour it on the ascending offering and on the wood. Then he said, do it a second time. And they did it a second time. And he said, do it a third time. And they did it a third time. And the water flowed around the slaughter place. And he filled the trench with water too. If you go in history, you can find places like this. If you just look up what we're reading right now, they still have old monuments like this.
A lot of places.
Slaughter places like this, straight up. And it came to be at the time of bringing the evening offering that Eliyahu, the prophet, came near and said, Yahuwah Elohim of Abraham, Yishak, and Yisrael, let it be known today. Let it be known today. You are Elohim in Yisrael, and I, your servant, have done all these matters by your word. You see that?
By your word.
So the Most High told him to bring that bull and put it on the slaughter place. The Most High told him to build that trench around that slaughter place. The Most High told him to do it not 1 time, but 3 times, right? Eliyahu ain't doing this on his own accord. He's doing this by the word of the Most High. 37. Answer me, O Yah, answer me, and let these people know that you are Yahuwah Elohim, and you shall turn their hearts back to you again. Wow. Then the fire of Yahuwah fell and consumed the ascending offering, and the wood, and the stones, and the dust, and it licked up the water that was in the trench. Come on. 39. And all the people saw and fell on their faces and said, Yahuwah, he is the Elohim. Yah, he is the Elohim. All praise.
But but you see that though? Even though all the people saw it and they fell on their faces and said, Yahuwah, he is the Elohim. Yahuwah, he is the Elohim. Just like people seen all the miracles and everything back in Egypt and everything, right? It's still hard for people to grasp and understand and accept that and take it, right? Even though they said that, they still went about their ways and did their own thing, man. Why is that?
The scriptures call them sons of disobedience.
Yeah.
Right?
We're in a fight then, right? We're in a fight.
Sure.
You see these miracles and all these things, but yet you can compare to the things that we do out here in the streets, that people do in the streets and everything, man.
And again, that's why I say don't walk according to the ways of the nations, because he said, Israel, come here. There wasn't no nations around. right? And the Most High showing his power before who? Yisrael, just like he did before. The same thing.
Yep.
Where we at?
Psalms 115, 4 through 9.
What I'm gonna say, it's another example showing like why you need the spirit too.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like you can see those things physically, but if you don't got the spirit, then you could be led, you could be led astray no matter what you saw.
Yeah, and look, and while they worshiping all those mighty ones, what happened to them? Fire came down and consumed them, and then they was killed.
Mm-hmm. And that's
you know what?
why the Most High called Eliyahu to do it in that manner, right? Because just like Paul said in his letters, Yisrael look for a sign, right? And the Greeks seek wisdom, right?
Yeah.
So that's why he said, hey, get your bull while we get our bull, and we'll see who Elohim is, because Yisrael looks for what? A sign.
Man, well, you just read.
That was what I was gonna say earlier, but go ahead.
Well, we just read how they lean to their own rule and they understand it when they cut themselves, right? And as you read this Psalm 115, you see all them Hindu people in the temple with all them different mighty ones. And you think they would have read this, they would have straightened up, but no, they lean to their own ruling, man. Their own understanding still. So I'm saying,
And they worshiping mighty ones that have sex with dogs.
Oh, yeah.
15 and 4. Their idols are silver and gold, the works of men's hands. They have mouths, but they do not speak. They have eyes, but they do not see. They have ears, but they do not hear. They have noses, but they do not smell. They have hands, but they do not handle. They have feet, but they do not walk. They make no sound through their throat. The ones who make them shall become like them.
Don't.
All who trust it. Right. Oh, yeah, Israel, trust in Yahuwah. He is their help and their shield.
Right.
How far we going out?
Yep, we're just going to 9.
Oh, Israel, trust in the Most High, right? So again, we still talking spiritually because his name was converted to Israel in the spiritual manner, right? He was dealing with a spirit, right? We dealt with that recently, right? We dealt with that recently, who he was dealing with. And he said, hey, bless me. He changed his name. In the spiritual sense, his name was changed into what? A spiritual sense. His fleshly name that came from his parents was Jacob. His spiritual name was Yisrael. Come on.
Okay, Psalm 96, 5 and 6.
Hey, I got a question. Shalom, brothers. Shaq, Shabbat Shalom. Been there for a while. What's the significance, Shag, you think, in regards to? Can you elaborate more on the spiritual name and the fleshly name? That kind of popped when he said that. That kind of made me think. Made me think about like. Well, I just want you to kind of, what do you think of, or anybody, what do you guys think? Why was that important? And why was it, why didn't he go back, or why didn't, why didn't he use his name Jacob before Israel? Did he, what's the importance of that transition, I guess, to make it simpler?
Yeah.
It goes back to when Paul said all Yisrael is not Yisrael. So everybody that you look at and say, oh, you're an Israelite because of our nation. Paul is saying you are not an Israelite because you're not walking upright. You're not walking in obedience to the Most High. Those who walk in obedience to the Most High is upright, or Yisrael, right? Jacob is who we come from fleshly, right? Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. That's who we come from in a fleshly standpoint, right? That's our ancestor, right? That's We are descendants of Jacob. But we can't be descendants of Yisrael until we walk like Yisrael walked in an upright manner.
Basically, born of the spirit.
Okay, basically, I guess I said it in too many words. Basically, born of the spirit. There you go, out. Basically, born of the spirit. Well, we started off in when we read about Nicodemus. When we read about Nicodemus, and said, "How can a man be born from above?" Right? Mashiach told you got to be born from above. He say, "How am I gonna enter back into my mother's womb?" He's a Jacobite. He was still thinking physically on how I can be reborn. And Mashiach tell him, you got to be reborn and start walking in the what? The spirit. Got to be reborn spiritually. Right?
True.
Okay. Yeah, that's it. That's all I wanted to ask.
You get it though, DeAndre?
Nah, you did some simpler words. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it makes sense how Shaq put it, because you know, before Jacob, well, I understand what you're saying, but I'm thinking about this after what you're saying, but I understand the premise of what you're saying. I understand it's the spiritual, but also I'm thinking now, you know what I mean? You know, Jacob was a deceit, you know, he tricked his brother out of the blood right. And then, you know, and then he ended up taking it. So he was two different people. But when he got it, he was Jacob. And then when he upheld the blessing, he had to change his name into Israel. So he wasn't the latter, you know, he was a different person before him and, you know, Esau had, you know, dealt the decision to switch birthrights and stuff. So that makes sense that he was.
Yep.
That he was a deceiver, you know. I guess not what he a deceiver. What do they call Jacob? He's a trickster or something like that, his name, or anyway. But the whole thing about it is he tricked his brother out of the birthright. But then he's obviously he had to start walking in a more, you know, take that contention or whatever was going on with his brother, and then, you know, walk into the spirit, like you were saying, or Yahuwah wouldn't have blessed him with the 12 nations, you know. And so, yeah, it makes sense all around. Yeah.
Only to see Jacob did was went to his father and act like he was Esau. Everything else was legit.
But that wasn't Jacob's intent. It wasn't Jacob saying, I'm gonna do this. This command came from Abraham first. That's what we gotta understand. This came from Abraham first, the father of righteousness. He has a whole bosom named after him. He is the father of righteousness. So that command came from him first and was given to the woman Rebecca.
And before it came from Abraham, it was the Most High will in general to give that to Jacob fathers.
That too.
Yeah, like when he told it when they was in the womb, he said, 2 nations in your womb.
And they said that,
and he told the
elders should serve the younger.
Exactly.
And it had to be. It had to come to be.
It had to come to be. So it was no trickery involved. Let's not get that misconstrued. There was no trickery involved. It was just how prophecy had to be fulfilled, right?
And how he had to do it by tricking his father to let him know, because the whole thing wasn't up to Jacob.
Right. It was up to
Yishak. Nothing to do with it.
And guess what? And guess what we're talking about right now? We're talking about fleshly and spiritual.
Right.
Think about why Yishak loved Esau more. Because he was a hunter in the field, bringing them good food. That's fleshly.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But Jacob was a complete man. If we go look at what complete means, it means perfect. That's what it means. He was a complete man, what the scriptures say. So again, it was never Jacob's intent. Jacob never had that intent. It was already ascribed to him in birth. The elders should serve the younger. His ancestry brought that down from him. For starting from Abraham when he told Rebecca what to do. Straight up.
Okay, thanks for the clarification. Yeah.
Yeah, say usually the Christian, like the Christian church would teach that that about Jacob, you know.
Mm.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
I passed the reading. I ain't heard Big Man voice out there.
Yeah.
I'm here, brother.
Right,
Not
this,
that voice. I was talking about the read. Cause I know, I don't want to be taking out the reading out. That's all I'm saying.
Psalms 96, 5 and 6.
got it, man.
Oh, yeah, I hit it.
Okay.
For all the mighty ones of the people are matters of naught. But Yahuwah made the heavens. Excellency and splendor are before him. Strength and comeliness are in his high set apart place.
For all the mighty ones of the people are matters or not.
That means nothing, right?
Nothing.
Of nothing. Of
You ever seen
nothing.
they have mouths, but they can't talk. They have nose, can't smell. They can't do nothing.
For sure.
But what the Most High do, he made the heavens. What these little mighty ones that they worship do?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. Nothing. Jubilees 12, 1 through 14.
Okay. You want to keep going, man?
Yeah, you said 1 through 14?
Yeah.
All right. And it came to pass in the 6th week of the 7th year, therefore, that Abram said to Terech, his father, saying, Father. And he said, Behold, here am I, my son. And he said, What help and profit have we from those idols which you do worship, and before which you do bow yourself? For there is no ruach in them, for they are dumb forms and a misleading of the heart. Worship them
Misleading
not.
of the heart. Sorry, man. That's big. A misleading of the heart.
Yeah,
Dumb
they dumb
form.
form.
Yeah, and a misleading of the heart.
Mm-hmm. Worship them not.
4. Worship Elohim of heaven, who causes the rain and the dew to descend on the earth, and does everything upon the earth, and has created everything by his word, and all life is from before his face. Why do you worship things that have no ruach in them? For they are the work of men's hands, and on your shoulders you do bear them. And ye have no help from them, but they are a great cause of shame to those who make them, and a misleading of the heart to those who worship them. Worship them not.
Come on, man. We just seen that. We just seen that whole temple, right? We just seen the whole temple in that video. And what it
For
say?
sure.
It's misleading their heart.
Look how they misled. Exactly. Even when you seen the first video with Morgan Freeman, they all misled, man. Millions of mighty ones. But yeah, we just seen how they have no nose. They have eyes, but they can't see. But they got had one to help with diseases. If you invoke her.
Then he said, for them to go anywhere, you got to carry them on your shoulders.
Come on, all right? Misleading their hearts, all right? Misleading their hearts, right? Misleading what the Most High try, your heart. Come on.
Oh. Okay. Let's see.
Bro, look.
Get back here. Okay.
And his father said unto him, I also know it, my son, but what should I do with the people who have made me to serve before them?
Oh, that's nasty right there.
Yeah.
Tara knew that. Tehran knew this did. He said, I also know it.
Yeah.
My son, but what should I do with the people who have made me to serve before them?
The people that made you, hey man, them idols that y'all go worship, man. The people making you go worship on Sunday. The Most High never commanded that.
So
right,
for sure,
right,
for sure,
that's true,
for sure. Being scared to be kicked out the congregation.
Come on,
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Dang, that's deep right there.
Okay, 7. And if I tell them the truth, they will slay me, for their souls cleaves to them to worship them and honor them. Keep silent, my son, lest they slay you. And these words he spoke to his 2 brothers, and they were angry with him, and he kept silent.
Mm.
And in the 40th Jubilee, in the 2nd week, in the 7th year thereof, Abram took to himself a woman, and her name was Sarai, the daughter of his father, and she became his woman.
Right.
And he
straight Israelite blood right there.
Yeah, the daughter of his father.
Right, stepsister. They ain't had the same mama.
Right.
And Haran his brother took to himself a woman in the 3rd year of the 3rd week, and she bore him a son in the 7th year of this week, and he called his name Lot. And Nachor his brother took to himself a woman, and in the 60th year of the life of Abram, this is in the 4th week, in the 4th year thereof, Abram arose by night and burned the house of the idols, and he burned all that was in the house, and no man knew it.
And no man knew it. So that's why we starting to get a little understanding when the Most High say, when you go into the land of them Gentiles worshiping of all the mighty ones, burn down they slaughter places. Because Abraham did it first. The father of righteousness did it first, right?
Good point, Shaq. Yep, good point. Yeah.
Now, nowadays, all we do is burn down their doctrine. If you go burn something down, they're going to have you locked up. Burn down their doctrine, man.
Okay, what we at? 13. And they arose in the night and sought to save their Elohim from the midst of the fire. And Haran hastened to save them, but the fire flamed over him, and he was burnt in the fire, and he died. And Ur of the Kesadim before Terech his father, and they buried him in Ur of the Kesadim.
Look at that. He was burnt by the fire too, consumed just like Elijah. And that came down to consume the offering when they was killed.
We get a different story of that in Jasher, just a little different.
But we still see that he died by fire in both stories.
Right.
Both stories.
It was killed. Yep.
It's a different story, but both stories say he died in fire, and both stories represent that he was unfaithful or disobedient to the Most High. He was lukewarm, is what both stories show, that Haran was lukewarm.
What was wrong with his heart, Shaq? It was misled, wasn't it? Just like it said, misleading of the heart. Misleading of the heart. Job
1, 6 and 7.
Says 6 and 7.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the day came to be that the sons of Elohim came to present themselves before Yahuwah, and Satan also came among them. And Yahuwah said to Satan, "From where do you come?" And Satan answered Yahuwah and said, "From diligently searching in the earth, and from walking up and down in it."
Man, my question is to y'all: what is he doing while he's walking up and down in the earth? What do you think he's doing?
Deceiving the planet.
Leading the whole world astray, right?
Deceiving the whole earth, yes.
Deceiving the whole earth, right? And it say, but look what it also say. He diligently searching, mean carefully searching who he want to deal with. That's why Satan, when he sees somebody that's a son of disobedience, he like, I already got you. He's carefully searching, looking for the righteous.
Wow. And look at that. And look at the many ways that we see him doing it already, too. Many different ways. We've seen the definition of wrath, right?
Yeah, doing it mad, yeah.
Any type of man, but diligently is big, too. Because he already got the children of disobedience, so, man.
He already got him, huh? He already got him.
Let's see what Peter say.
Hey, 1 Peter 5, 6 through 8. I read after you, Jermaine. Whenever you want to stop, just let me know.
I can read too.
So you can get it after this.
Okay.
Humble yourselves then under the mighty hand of Elohim, so that he may exalt you in due time, casting all your worry upon him, for he is concerned about you. Be sober, watch, because your adversary, the devil, walks about like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour.
That's what he doing, huh?
That's
what he doing.
He walking to and fro.
Yep. Walking like a roaring lion, seeking whom he can devour. Diligently.
Diligently, right?
Man. Yeah, man.
Hey, Ephesians 6, 11 through 17. Put on the complete armor of Elohim, for you to have power to stand against the schemes of the devil.
Schemes, schemes.
Schemes. That's what I said.
Okay. I might have misheard it. My bad.
Okay. Because we do not wrestle against flesh.
What's that definition?
Hey, check it out. I'm looking at it right now, because check this out. Man, when you look at it, a large-scale, systematic plan or arrangement for attaining a particular object or putting a particular idea into effect.
That's a
right?
long definition right there.
And look at all these words, though. A plan of action, a strategy, a program. Did we just read that he's diligently seeking?
So
diligently.
A course of action. A course of action. A design. Man, dude, all of this is by design. Idols, Catholic Church, it's all by design.
Yeah, for sure.
Picking an idea into effect, putting a particular idea into effect, right? What's the idea say, right?
Deceive, right?
Come on.
Well, he ain't just coming straight at you.
Right.
It's a planned thing.
Right.
You know, it might go through a series of events to get that. You know what I'm saying?
I like this word right here. It's a formula. Look at that. Formula.
Hey, I can say it's a large scale systematic plan. Large scale. That's how you know it's talking about Satan, because it says large scale, right? Because if you if you follow according to Satan's schemes, right, you dying on a large scale, and that's the lake of fire. This is a large scale systematic plan. So that means he's been planning this from the beginning, since he was first thrown to this earth, right?
There's a formula to this thing, man.
Right.
Man, it's the battle between day and night, good and evil.
But it ain't a physical battle, though, is it? It ain't a physical
Just think about a project. When you in school, you got a project. That means you're not doing that project in one day.
No, you taking your time, right?
Plan of action. A program. Think about a program.
Yeah.
Think about a strategy. Come on.
Yeah.
Again, you're diligently seeking out.
Just think about a game plan. You got an NBA game. You got a whole plan throughout the game.
Yeah.
Unless your name Draymond, you're just gonna foul. You know.
And look at that word too, lurk, because he is lurking about.
Right.
All times. Blueprint. Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's
and that takes a lot of truth in a little lie, don't it?
Dude, it takes a lot of hate. It takes a lot of anger.
Yeah.
Go back to that word wrath. That's a lot of hate and anger.
Right.
Because he know his time is short.
Right.
And he gotta plan it perfect.
Hey.
To try to take as many of them down with him.
But the Most High. Ain't nothing perfect but the Most High. So his plan is not complete or perfect, right?
It got holes in it.
Got holes, like y'all said about the them holes in the bottom of a bag of French fries. You know what I'm talking about?
Hey, Go
And
down a little bit.
Satan playing like a bag of French fries. I got holes in it. I told you, I could be a rapper too. I don't tell you, I got metaphors.
They say a public housing complex.
Mm.
That's like the projects right there.
That's a scheme, huh? You know they schemed on us when they made the projects, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
That come from who? Scottish.
They
See
say
that?
making plans, especially in a devious way, or with intent to do something illegal or wrong.
Man, come on.
Hey, show more. Show more.
Plot, fire.
Intrigue. That's what he did to Eve. He intrigued her to get that deal with that knowledge of good and evil. He intrigued her to do it, right?
Very cunning, wasn't he?
Devious, huh? Okay, I like that definition.
You show more too.
Okay.
Okay. Origin, go down.
Greek. You're just showing how they
But that's what we dealing with. That's what the world is what we dealing with. These
Wait,
things
go
that
back
we don't
down
see.
for a second.
Celestial
that?
objects.
Yeah.
The what?
Really,
Say celestial objects. The diagram of the position of celestial objects.
Yeah, that's of the stars and stuff. Planets, probably.
And not just stars and planets. It's just dealing with anything in the outer realm, or not even, just outer space, we'll say, right?
Yeah.
Okay, get back to it. Hey, you want to read next, Marv?
I'll read in a minute.
Okay.
What do you want to read
Let
right
me
now?
know.
You want to read right now?
You can finish. Yeah, go ahead. Starting at 11. 11 to 17.
All right. Put on the complete armor of Elohim for you to have power to stand against the schemes of the devil.
Man.
Because we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against authorities, against the world rulers of the darkness of this age, against
Hey,
spiritual
that's somehow
matters.
they say against the world rulers.
Yeah.
Man, pretty much.
Yeah.
But hey, yeah. You done with that one?
No, I ain't finished.
You done. I'm gonna read this definition of principalities.
Go back down. All right. Go back down the other way. Right there. Against the rulers of the darkness of this age, against the spiritual matters of the wickedness in the heavenlies.
Yeah.
Because of this, take up the complete armor of Elohim, so that you have the power to withstand in the wicked day, and have done all to stand. Stand then, having girded your waist with truth, and having put on the breastplate of righteousness, and having fitted your feet with the preparation of the good news of peace. Above all, having taken up the shield of belief, for which you shall have power to quench all the burning arrows of the wicked one. Belief, that's your faith. Take up the shield of belief. That's your faith right there. Take also the helmet of deliverance and the sword of the Spirit, which is in the word of Elohim.
That's the only way that we can stand against the schemes of the devil, right? Taking on the word of Elohim, keeping his word every day, right? Man, the whole thing I'm saying is too, like, this ain't a physical fight. Like we just read, we dealing with spiritual wickedness in high places and principalities. And principalities, you got a couple different definitions. You looking at a person who was in authority, a position of authority, right? Or you looking at a position of authority of the prince of the air, and you also dealing with principalities or the rank of angels, considered to be a group of angels over nations. You know what I mean? Either ruled by a territory or a prince. This ain't nothing to play with, man.
I don't think I was finished over on the other side.
Other scripture, you was finished.
Oh, okay.
Chapter 17. Yeah, this one we're going 1 through 3.
Yes, sir.
And you were dead in trespasses and sins in which you once walked according to the course of this world, according to the ruler of the authority of the air, of the spirit that is now working in the sons of disobedience, among whom also we all once lived in the lust of our flesh, doing the desires of the flesh and of the mind, and were by nature children of wrath, and also the rest.
And we're by nature children of wrath. That's the same wrath that Satan said he was bringing, right? Because he only had a little time, right?
Yeah, from the beginning, by nature. Wow,
Right.
man.
Right.
And we already seen what's the opposite of disobedience. What's the opposite of disobedience? It's the opposite of divine.
Right.
Darkness, man.
So again, doing the desires of our flesh and of the mind, because it's what we read earlier in that Revelations 12. Satan led the whole world astray. The whole world astray to do what? To do our desires of our flesh and our mind.
Man. Yeah, you seen that temple with all that lusty stuff on that temple? Come on, you seen it? Got that? Yep. Clip 1.
Hey, before you go to that clip, before you go to that clip though, you heard Marvin? He said scroll down. And I start scrolling, he's like, nah, the other way. You know what I'm saying? That brother right there don't even know how to scroll down. The other way. You feel me? Dyslexic or something. Oh no.
That was lame. I wouldn't even brought that up.
That's funny. Scroll
That
down.
was my question. So I hope you'll explain it, because very little has been written in the West about this.
They're satanic, yes.
But actually,
The other way out.
I know.
MS-13 is one of the major gangs.
And they are satanic also.
That was my question. So
Yes.
I hope you'll explain it, because very little has been written in the West about this.
They're satanic, yes.
But actually, literally,
Yeah.
can you explain?
MS-13 started in Los Angeles in the US, but as the organization grew, they became satanic. They started doing satanic rituals. I don't know exactly when that started, but it was well documented.
Yes.
In our arrest, we've even found altars and things like that.
Yes, I've seen them. So human sacrifice was
Yes.
a part. So that's almost never described in English language press as clearly as you just described it.
No. Which is weird.
Well, you sort of wonder why.
Yeah.
If there's a spiritual component that's driving it, why not just say so?
Yes.
But I guess my point is, you saw it as that.
Yes, of course. There's a spiritual war and there's a physical war. If you win the spiritual war, it will reflect into the physical. I think our victory was because we won the spiritual war.
MS-13 is one of the major gangs.
If you look at it's a backstory on that, right? That's the El Salvadorian president. And he been dealing with the MS-13 gangs for a long time over there. And you know how brutal they are and how brutal it is over there. It's already saying they're Satanists. It was a story that they killed a little girl and sacrificed her, right? Into these certain idols that they worship and everything, Santa Maria and all that stuff. But they wanted to kill a baby. And the guy had an interview with him. He told him because the beast wanted the baby, they had to kill a baby because the beast said so. So man, they dealing with spiritual warfare. And what he mean by they won the war, because he knew there was a spiritual warfare they were fighting. And he said he had a 3-step program, and the first step was to seek the will of the Most High and just leave it at that. And things turned around over there.
And they ain't just there; they everywhere.
Everywhere. And like you said, they started in California. They're everywhere, but
They
they
everywhere.
like everywhere, exactly. But they over there fighting like crazy in El Salvador. They got that big prison over there for them. You seen that? Anybody
Yeah.
seen that?
Yeah, Trump said he's gonna start shipping Americans there.
Man, they got all them guys over there just in drawers, boy. That's it. Sleeping on hard metal beds, everything. One of the largest prisons in the world. All right. You want me to read this one or you want to keep going?
I'll read.
Okay.
And I set my heart to seek and search out by wisdom concerning all that has been done under the sun. This evil task Elohim has given to the sons of man to be humbled by it.
To be humbled by it. To know these things, to be humbled by it.
Right.
I have seen all the works that are done under the sun, and I see all was futile and feeding on wind. The crooked could not be straightened, and was lacking could not be counted. So I spoke to my heart, saying, see, I have attained greatness and have gained more wisdom than all who were before me in Jerusalem. And my heart has seen much wisdom and knowledge. And I set my heart to know wisdom and to know madness and folly. And to know that this too is feeding on wind.
Man. He said, and I set my heart to know wisdom and to know madness and folly, right? I got a question for y'all because you bring up the definition madness. It says the state of being mentally ill. So when y'all see people walking around, they're schizophrenic and they talking about, oh, this dude crazy, something wrong with him, leave him alone. Man, you don't know what that person going through, right? It could be an attack on his mind from spiritually or whatever, man.
Demon, right? Demon.
Huh?
Just saying that can be attacked. Knowing madness and folly, that madness can be attack of a demon. Going back to that Testament of Solomon, right?
Yeah, yeah. Man, and as a kid, growing up, when I grew up in the city, man, you see this all day long, man. Like, and we laughing, like, man, look at this dude, he drunk, he tripping, walking down the street, wilding out,
right,
talking crazy. You know what I'm saying? But we want to throw rocks and bricks at them and everything, man. They going through something spiritual, man.
And that's that same madness or demons that Mashiach was casting out of them peoples. You feel me?
And then one thing I noticed is that a lot of people that we probably grew up with or our friends, without knowing, a lot of them suffer from like bipolarness and schizophrenia. Like, that's kind of normal.
Well, that's what happened. That's what happened with me. Marv, my brother Michael, he went through that, but it was because someone had put something in it, either in his drink, shot him with something. This back in the late 70s, and it took control of him. But by the power, of the Most High, and the prayers, he kind of came back to himself.
Right.
Able to talk and function as long as he stayed under medications. He never tripped, but when he wasn't on medications and he was put him into a mental hospital, Marv, he came a long way, but we had to continue. He walked to church. He walked like 6-7 miles to church. You understand what I'm saying? So some people you don't know what they're going through, but
you don't.
And that's real talk. Yeah, my brother Michael, and y'all probably met him. He always used to come to Chicago all the time, but by help, some of these people don't have help. That's why they out there wilding out, this and that.
I had a cousin like that, but like you said, it's always starting like somebody might have slipped them something, right? Schemes of the devil. Somebody might have slipped them something. Somebody died in their arms, or they got high or something, and they stuck now. They stuck now in that spiritual warfare fight in their mind, man, against spiritual and demons and everything.
Yeah, like it was like when I was young, but like I was like 7 or 8, maybe not. But I was young, And I could tell he was like, when I seen him, he was agitated and just like he wanted to get out of that stage. Like he came to mind, like, I used to be normal, but what's going on?
Yeah.
You know, I could see it sometime as a kid, and as he got better, I could see him getting better, and you know, and it was years, but he, you know, he still had that really humble, like a bud about him, like how he was before. You understand? Once he got to his, you know, calmness situation, he was, you know, he was Michael. Man, it's just, man, it's deep, it's serious, but yeah.
All right, Ecclesiastes 1:8-11. Just scroll back up.
8-11. We already finished.
Yep, now we're just going 8-11. Same chapter. Yep.
Okay.
All right. Let me hit this one real quick. All matters are wearisome. No one is able to speak of it. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing. What has been is what shall be. What has been done is what shall be done. And there is no new matter under the sun. Nothing new under the sun.
That's the name of the lesson?
Huh?
That's the name of this discussion. There's nothing new.
Nothing new under the sun. It could be. It could be.
I'm just saying. Sound like a good idea, you know.
It could be. Is there a matter of which it is said? See, this is new. It is here. It was here already long ago. Ain't nothing new under the sun.
Right.
Ain't nothing new under the sun. So I'm finna get to this though. So why everybody to my new age all the time? They want to try to toss out what the Most High has already given us, and they want to try to get to their own thing called New Age, right? Can you grab the definition of New Age, Root?
The New Age definition?
Yeah.
That's the one you sent me, right?
Yeah, you can even type it up too.
I'm just gonna I'm gonna pull up the one. I think wait, I put it down.
All right, so check this out. New Age is a range of spiritual or religious practices, beliefs that rapidly grew in Western society during the early 1970s.
Let me see. I think this might be better.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. It's highly illicit and unsystematic structure makes a precise definition difficult. It makes a precise definition difficult. Come on, man. Although many scholars consider it a religious movement, its inheritance typically see it as a spiritual or as a unification of mind, body, and spirit, and rarely use the term New Age themselves. They always talk about your mind, body, and spirit. Oh, your vibration's high today. You know, somebody told me that one day. What's up, buddy? Your vibration seem pretty high. Hey, man, get out of here with that, man. How could you determine the disciple of vibration is high or low? You either sad or you ain't. You hot or you cold. Right? Although others contest this term and suggest it is better seen as a milieu or a zygus. Let's scroll down a little bit more. As a form, Zeitgeist.
I think they used to make movies and try to debunk the Bible and stuff like that.
Okay, and that's pretty much what they're doing. As a form of Western esotericism, the New Age drew heavily upon esoteric traditions such as occultism of the 18th and 19th century, including the work of Emanuel Swedenborg. That's all we got to go is right there. But how they gonna say occultism started in the 18th and 19th century? You got to go all the way back to Nimrod days when you start dealing with magic and the occult and things like that. Ain't nothing new under the sun. We just read that. So how they gonna give you some new age and they say new age brings you peace? Come on, man.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't have to read all of it. Unless y'all want to read all of it.
Hey, it's weird
No,
how
I'm
they
just
got it's weird how they got UFO religions there.
Yeah.
To say real.
yeah, that's what I was
Just
looking
think
at.
about just think about now, you know, all the AI stuff that's coming out, you know, everything AI. I'm just pointing that out. That's all. And we kind of moving into the age of Jetsons, you know.
Yeah,
Moving
man.
to that
Yamil,
age
we
now.
just had this conversation yesterday with the UFO thing.
That's that zeitgeist, and that's that zeitgeist right there. What it's talking about, you know. In this age, you know what I'm saying, everybody's satanic.
But yeah, it's just people, this age, they satanic, but they always been too. It ain't started in the 1970s, man. You don't give somebody, man, it amazes me, man.
Now we're on the next clip, right, Adam?
Yeah, this chick right here, yep.
New Age spirituality even psychologically rewards you by numbing yourself to the collective pain and calls it ascension. And so in New Age spirituality, the more that you ignore what's going on in the world and the more high vibration you are in spite of what is happening in the world, the more spiritual you are, the more ascended you are. This is very dangerous. It encourages us to collude with this oppressive paradigm because it teaches us to ignore what's happening in the world, to close our eyes to what's happening in the world, and to just focus on our good feelings. New Age spirituality even psychologically rewards you by numbing.
What y'all think about that?
Retardation.
Yeah. She says dangerous. Yeah, it's dangerous for those who practice that crap. Come on, man.
Well, then she said it rewards you.
Yeah, and to numb your mind, to forget the things, ignore the things of the world, ignore everything around you, what's going on, and find your inner peace. Be deceived by the devil, in other words.
Yeah, and like the scripture said that we're supposed to what? It said reprove it or rebuke it.
Yeah.
And she said ignore it.
Yeah.
Said convict them.
So it always kind of amuses me.
Go out, convict them. So it's telling you basically just let everything be. Let it be. The chaotic type thing.
Yep. Being deceived by Satan, man.
Right.
When super religious people, and so it always kind of amuses me when super religious people, and I don't want to name names or throw anyone under the bus in terms of a religion that they believe in, hate on New Age spirituality and New Age spiritual practices. In case we have forgotten, as a whole, meditation is an ancient practice. Yoga is an ancient practice. Solfeggio frequencies, also known as healing frequencies, are part of an ancient 9-tone scale that was actually associated with the church. So it's just a little funny to me that people are so quick to throw their judgment on some of these ancient practices and think that we've kind of made them up in the past 100 years, when there's so much wisdom within them, A, and B, they probably predate many of these Western religious beliefs that people ascribe to nowadays. I'm not here to judge anyone. Keep an open mind, believe what you want to believe, but I just think it's funny that people are so quick to throw their judgment. Don't you think it's funny?
Yeah,
so it always kind of amuses me.
You're stupid.
And I'm gonna just say, okay, well, just because something is ancient, make it true. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's just like our sisters talking about. You speak to our ancestors, and we do what our ancestors used to do. Our ancestors is lost too.
Right. And that's what she kept saying, an ancient practice.
Ooh, have you ever heard the Messiah tell you something about some yoga or vibration frequencies and nothing like that?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man.
And you know what? That's a lot of things our own people say. Well, when was that Bible written anyway? And when was this and when was that? You know what I'm saying? So people think the father you must be the right way, the correct day. But don't forget, the Most High did say He is the Ancient of Days. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. The Ancient of Days.
The
John
beginning.
14. You want me to hit it? Y'all want me to hit it? Somebody else want to hit it?
Yeah, I can hit it up. Oh yeah, John 14. What we reading?
27.
All right. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. I do not give to you as the world gives. And that goes back to that one video when she said it's rewarding.
Right.
You know, yeah, it gives you that. What was she said? She said something too. But you know what she was saying? Basically saying like I guess it gives you some type of false peace though.
It said give you peace. Yeah, false peace. False peace.
But the Most High said, peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. I do not give to you as the world gives. And that's what they want, that worldly peace.
Right. Right.
Do not let your heart be troubled. Neither let it be afraid.
And that's letting you know, even in this time, but everything that we've been discussing today, it shouldn't trouble us, nor should we be afraid of it, because we got the peace of Mashiach that he left with us.
Right. And what they tell you, what she tell you in that video, ignore everything in the world. Just ignore everything in the world.
And that's the peace the world get to you, right?
Yep.
Give you an aspirin. Most High give you salvation, eternal life.
And that's why the Bible said in the last days iniquity shall abound. So if their stuff is telling you to ignore things, then that means you're allowing iniquity to abound because you're ignoring everything. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And that's why people be so freaked out and be going and dealing with these marches and stuff like that, because they ain't got the peace of Mashiach, right?
Yeah.
Now attain peace that the world is offering. Oh, go march in this, and maybe something will happen, and all these things, right?
All right. We are up.
9, 6 and 7.
All right. For a child is born unto us, a son is given unto us, and the rule is on his shoulder, and his name is called Wonder, Counselor, Strong El, Father of Continuity, Prince of Peace.
He's the Prince of Peace.
Father of Continuity, Prince of Peace.
Prince of Peace. That's why he said, peace I leave with you, not that the world give you, because I'm the prince of this peace. So who is the king of that peace?
Yeah. That's who gives you peace, not New Age, right? Not yoga.
So the Most High is the king of the peace.
Yep.
But Mashiach is the prince of that peace, right? That's that same peace he say he leave with us. All praises.
Man, all praises.
Of the increase of his rule and peace, there is no end.
So the whole time we living and we being covered in that blood of Mashiach, there's no end to that peace that he leaves.
And if you go back to 6 real quick, like he said, there's no end of that peace. That's why I said the father of continuity.
Right.
Continuity.
Right. I go back to 7 up. Of the increase of his rule and peace, there is no end. Upon the throne of David and over his reign, to establish it and sustain it with right ruling and with righteousness from now on, even forever. The adore of Yahuwah of hosts does this.
Come on.
Nobody else.
I did that.
Nobody else can give you that.
Right.
Man. It's just crazy when I see that, man, how people think like that, man.
They want the peace of this world, right out. That's what they want.
Yeah, they don't understand the peace, man.
Yeah.
What we at up?
Matthew 11, 28 to 30.
All right. And then, like you said, like their piece is ignoring things. That was big though. When they said to ignore, you know, that's a big statement, and to give you that more understanding of you know, like we said, why we see what we see, the iniquity abounding, the lies, right? Because you ignore now, you know, that's why you got a million gods. Everybody ignoring stuff. You know what I'm saying? Nobody
And,
wants the
and,
truth. You know what
and
I'm
then
saying?
when you ignore it, you only got peace for a minute because that same thing you ignore gonna come back up again.
Right, because you only being in denial to it. That's it.
It's just it's just like a bill that comes in the mail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, next they you keep ignoring it. Next they gonna send you a red slip.
Man, yeah.
Pink slip.
Like you say, that piece only lasts for a moment when you toss it out your mind.
That's deep, Bob. That's deep. Like you said, you're gonna have to pay that bill eventually. And that kind of remind me of the script we read when it come with them idols. They said you're gonna be like these idols then. You know what I mean? The ones that make them is gonna be just like them.
Be dumb just like them.
Yeah, you're gonna perish. You know,
Or not living, right? Because those idols don't live. So
right.
You're not gonna live.
Exactly. All right, we got it. Come to me, all you who labor and are burdened, and I shall give you rest.
That's that peace. That's what rest equals, peace. You laboring and you burden. He said, I shall give you rest. I shall give you peace. Come on.
Take my yoke upon you and learn from me. Goes back to that imitate, right out.
Exactly. All praises for sure.
For I am meek and humble in heart.
Look at him, what the Most High try?
Your heart.
He just told you, learn from me, because I'm meek and humble in my heart. Right? So be meek and humble in your heart.
And you shall find rest for your being.
For your soul, right? You shall find rest for your soul. Come on.
For my yoke is gentle and my burden is light.
Come on, man. You ain't even need to carry nothing heavy. So.
Man.
Deuteronomy 13, 1 through 10.
Sir.
I can keep it going. When there arises among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and he shall give you a sign or a wonder, and the sign or the wonder shall come true, of which he has spoken to you, saying, let us go after other mighty ones, which you have not known, and serve them. Do not listen to the words of that prophet or that dreamer of dreams. For Yahuwah your Elohim is trying you to know whether you love Yahuwah your Elohim with all your heart and with all your being.
Because all Yisrael look for signs. So the Most High said, oh, that sign came true.
Right.
And then he said, hey, now that sign came true. Now that prophet is saying, hey, let's go serve other mighty ones. Right? The Most High trying you.
Trying you, yeah. Want to know if you love him.
Right.
I was about to say that, like you just said, because Israel looked for a sign. Perfect. That's exactly what that is. And that's not enduring to the end, right? Like people, you know, like you say, look for a sign. They're not enduring. Like they just like anything, take them off the path. Any reason to go off the path, man.
Yeah,
that's what we
knock you right off.
Yeah, and we see that to this day when, you know, people be in the truth, then they go, and then I guess they must have got a sign somewhere else, and they dealing with something else.
And that's why Mashiach wasn't dealing with them when they kept on saying, show us a sign and we shall believe. Right? He's like, the only sign you're going to see is me being in the ground 3 days.
3 days, 3 nights.
You know what I'm saying? The sign you're going to see is the prophet of Jonah.
That ate by the widow, right?
That's all they look for. They look for a sign so they can believe.
Walk after Yahuwah your Elohim, and fear him, and guard his commands, and obey his voice, and serve him, and cling to him. And that prophet or that dreamer of dreams is put to death because he has spoken apostasy against Yahuwah your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Mizraim and ransomed you from the house of bondage to make you stray from the way in which Yahuwah your Elohim commanded you to walk. Thus you shall purge the evil from your midst. When your brother, the son of your mother, or your son of your daughter, or the wife of your bosom, or your friend who is as your own being, entice you secretly, saying, let us go and serve other mighty ones, which you have not known, neither you nor your fathers. Of the mighty ones of the of the people which are all around you, near to you or far off from you.
Near you or far from you. So we already in Babylon. It's a whole bunch of false mighty ones that they serve out over here. And then it said far off from you. We just looked at a video in India with the temple of them serving all these mighty ones, right?
Right. And you got Buddha, you got
And brothers in the assembly growing up in the black community, we can always say, like, our elders probably told us, well, this is the gods we serve when we was back in Africa. You know what I'm saying? We grew up learning that. Well, we got to that Egyptology stuff at one time and said, we was dealing with Egyptian gods at one time. This is what our people dealt with before we dealt with the God of that Bible. You know what I'm saying? This is what we grew up, about them gods that far off. What we was, probably taught growing up too.
They were still lost too then, right?
Yeah.
They was lost.
You see them Danites went through a lot. I feel
Hey, look, I'm from New York, man. We got all types of different religions going on up there.
You got them 5%ers and all them brothers out there, man.
You know what I mean? The Egyptology, you are gods, 5%ers, everything, bro. You everything. The Anunnaki, all types of stuff. You feel me?
Everybody is all allegory and all that stuff, right?
The ancestors, all of it. You name it. All right. Of the mighty ones of the people, which are all okay. We read that. Yep. Okay, we go. Near to you or far off from you, from one end of the earth to the other end of the earth.
And India is on the other end of the earth, right?
Yeah.
You just seeing what they be worshiping over there.
Yep. Do not agree with him or listen to him, nor shall your eyes pardon him, nor spare him or conceal him.
Because it said it can't spare him because it said that you need to, what we read earlier, you need to convict him.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't conceal him.
Right.
Reprove him. Convict him.
Right. Convict him. That's right. I rebuke that. Right. But you shall certainly kill him.
Not physically out. Kill that doctrine. Kill that doctrine out.
But I'm just saying, you gotta kill him. Then you definitely ain't ignoring him. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Most High ain't teach us to ignore. You know what I'm saying? But you shall certainly kill him. Right? Purge that wickedness. Right? That's what it's saying. Purge. Your hand is first against him to put him to death. And afterward, the hand of all the people.
Right. And we still dealing with spiritually, right? So that's just like when you deal with somebody and they come with that false doctrine, you be like, man, you dead to me, right? You're dead to me. That means you ain't dealing with them no more. I ain't dealing with your doctrine. We still got to take this again spiritually also, right? Because that's what we've been talking about.
Definitely got to take it spiritual out. And you shall stone him with stones until he dies, because he sought to entice you away from Yahuwah your Elohim.
That's a big thing right there. You know what I'm saying? So are you gonna physically go to the preacher man and stone him with stones? Because that's what he doing. He enticing you away from the Most High. That's what he doing every Sunday, right? But now you ain't gonna go to his assembly no more. You gonna be like, you dead to me. I'm done with you. It's like I threw stones at your head and killed you, man. I don't want to hear your doctrine no more.
Okay.
Hmm.
Who brought you out of the land of Mizraim from the house of bondage. So we just seen like ain't nothing new under the sun. Like I've been saying, like people been trying to. Oh wait, people are the devil. You know what I mean? Been trying to lead you away from the truth, though. You know what I mean? Lead you astray, entice you to go to not follow the Most High, man. We go through that this day. So
Every day.
Every day, y'all.
I work with this guy, and all he used to talk about was allegorical this, and worship the creation instead of the creator. And all right, man, all right, being led astray with that.
Okay, and that also goes with like when you speak this truth, and then you got somebody that tries to speak some other stuff, and they don't want to receive it. It kind of goes back to wiping the dust, right? And just moving on.
Yeah, not casting your pearls before swine.
Yeah. Same thing.
And like you say, he's stone with stone, you dropping them bombs on his head, dropping that truth on his head.
Yeah,
right.
The word do cut, don't it? It do
Man.
cut.
Where we at? Ezekiel 13?
17, 23.
All right. And you, son of man, set your face against the daughters of your people who are prophesying out of their own heart. And prophesy against them.
That's what we should be doing. Every time, that's what we doing. We convict them. We prophesizing against them, right?
Mm-hmm. And you shall say, this is what the Master Yahuwah said. Woe to the woman sewing, what's that, cushions?
Yes, sir.
For all joints of the hand. And to those making veils for the heads of people of every size. To hunt beings.
To hunt what up?
Beings.
To hunt beings. What that mean? What he saying? They make the veils to hunt beings. What they mean?
What you hunting something? What you do? You hunt it and you kill it. You killing the soul. You killing the spirit.
Yeah,
you killing the soul. You killing that soul. Well, that soul. What the Most High gonna judge? What the Most High gonna judge in His day? The soul. You hunting that soul. You killing that soul. You giving them that falsehood. That's what you doing.
Making veils for the people of every size to hunt beings. You hunt the beings of my people,
right?
While you keep alive your own beings.
So you're killing the being. You're killing the soul of my people while you keep alive your own being, right?
Hey,
you know the truth.
Can you categorize those people? Can you say those people are people of divination and things like that too, right? Could you say that?
Man, that's a broad saying. Honestly, when they say hunt the beings, that's a broad saying. So
you hunt the beings of the Most High people.
That's a broad range of people, is what we saying. That hunt the beings.
And that goes back to like enticing them with different gods and all that too.
Yes, that's why it's broad. It's a wide range. It's a wide range of those who hunt our soul.
They just like that. They're just like that Deuteronomy you read. It said, and the thing come to pass. Then when that thing come to pass, people gonna start following the person that did that. You know what I'm saying? And they hunting the beings of the people. Yeah, because they're gonna be like after that thing come to pass, they're gonna be like, come worship these other gods.
Right. Come worship these other gods. You're hunting them, and then once you hunt them, when you hunt something, what you do? If you go hunt a deer, what you gonna do?
Kill it, right?
You gonna kill it. And that's what they doing to our souls right now. They killing our souls right now with all this doctrine that they giving us.
Okay. And you have, excuse me, and you have profane.
I'm use one example too. I know, might mean not, accept it, but again, when brothers say, hey, don't read these books, but you go actually and go read these books, you feel me? That could be a way of hunting the being. It's like, why can't I grow in this same understanding? The same thing. You hunting my being, you feel me? Because I can't get that understanding. I just gotta go off how you interpret it. You feel me?
Okay. That's a good one. That's a good one. Like you holding back knowledge. You know what I'm saying? The Most High reveals something to you. You're supposed to reveal it to other people. But if you're not doing that, then yeah.
That's why I say, why you keep alive your own being, right? You keeping alive your own being, but you said telling everybody else, don't go read that. Come on.
Right. And you have profaned me among my people for handfuls of barley and for pieces of bread.
For nothing, God. For nothing. Handfuls of barley and pieces of bread. Think about these churches, how they profane the Most High. For some money and pieces of bread. For nothing, They just said that some preacher, man, I don't know who it was, talking about, hey, yeah, y'all got to give me 40,000 before y'all come in here. Nigga, 40,000 chump change, nigga. Nigga, that's a handful of barley. You feel me?
Well, yeah, most
all for nothing. Because at the end of the day, it's all for nothing anyway, right? All is vanity.
Right. Yep.
It didn't even say a loaf of bread. It said pieces of bread. Nigga, 40 bands is pieces of bread, Straight up.
To put to death beings that should not die.
To put to death of beings of souls that should not die. Right? Look at that.
Right.
All you had to do was give these souls the truth, and they will walk by the truth.
Exactly. Exactly. And to keep alive beings who should not live.
And all those who say, oh, yeah, we got this 40 bands for you.
Right. That too. And like them pastors that work for with them contracts, and they not going to tell you the truth based off like to keep they living. You know what I'm saying? They keep satisfying they bosses too.
Right.
That told them to lie to you. You tell them this, but you better not tell them that. And if you tell them that, then you're gonna lose this. So they gonna follow them to keep their stuff going too.
Right.
Hirelings.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I'm glad you said that. We're gonna deal with that real soon. There's two things we gotta deal with.
Straight up. By your lying, there you go right there.
By your what?
By your lying,
right,
to my people who listens to lies.
What they gonna be doing tomorrow in church?
Listening to lies,
Lies,
Therefore, thus said the Master Yah, see, I am against your cushions, by which you hunt the beings. Oh.
Okay.
Don't leave him alone. Go ahead out.
By which you hunt the beings, they're like birds, and I shall tear them from your arms, and you shall let the beings go, the beings you hunt like birds.
Yeah, right?
Right up.
You have been let go. We was all captive. We was all captive of this same lying and falsehood, right? I know I was.
Yep.
I know I was going to the Sunday church dropping big ties on Pastor Man.
Yep.
But we all have been let go from his arms, right? We was prayed at first, but now we free.
No, that's all praises. And then just looking at it even more like on the spiritual sense, that was, we've been let go out of the arms of Satan. You know what I'm saying? Out of that being led astray. You know what I'm saying? Straight up.
That's big in itself.
Yeah, it's big in itself. Like you said, he deceived the whole world. And I shall tear off your veils and shall deliver my people out of your hand.
When you got a veil on, that means you can't see. When you got a veil on, you can't see, you blind. Right?
Yep. And he said, and I shall deliver my people. So he said only his people he's gonna deliver. Okay, everybody's not getting delivered out them churches, out whatever they into.
Right.
And receiving this truth, man.
Right.
And that's one thing you learn when you come into this truth, how deep this thing really is. The Most High said, you did not choose me, but I chose you. So. And they shall no longer be as prey in your hand.
That's what you was in Preacher Man hand. Pray. Use pray.
And you shall know that I am Yahuwah. And like I said,
my bad. I'll go ahead.
like I said, you could have just told them the truth and they probably would have followed. And that was me. Like all I needed to do was get told the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like I was out there, but then when I learned this truth, that was it. You know what I mean? But I just never heard it that way. And some people just need to hear the truth. You got it,
The uncut words.
Go ahead, my bad. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm with you. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying the uncut word, the truth, man. Some people need to hear the uncut word.
Mm-hmm. And that's why when you came from being prayed from these people, it say that you shall know that I am Yahuwah. Even coming with that name, right? You shall know. It didn't say that you shall know that I am God. Or you should know that I am Yahuwah. You're going to know me by my name and you're going to know what it is. I'm the one that do all this. I'm the one that do.
And the thing is, real quick, like you said by the name, is everything is written. The word is written. So, man, I just can't. If it's in your heart, you sincerely want truth. You like we were said earlier, you got to read the word. You know what I'm saying? They can't lead you astray. So, I was, dealing with GOCC at one time, and I'm a higher, and then Ak just showed me, Psalm 68 verse 4. I mean, it's that plain and simple. Praise him by his name, Yah. That's what it said. And it's just like I was sincerely seeking. But somebody who's like following man or doctrine, they'll read that and still use what they was taught. You know what I mean? Like this stuff is really come with sincerity, bro. You know what I mean? And you read the word, you can't get led astray.
And if you're not walking in sincerity, you are still prey.
Right.
Yeah.
Because with falsehood, you have made the heart of the righteous sad.
Read that one more time.
Confusing people, man. Look at that. Yeah.
Read that one more time, man.
Because with falsehood, right? This is a real deal, though. Because let me just speak on it. Because sometimes this is make you go like, Dad. Once you learn this stuff, you be like, Dad, I wish I would have knew this. I wish somebody would have told me this. I probably would have never did that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe. You know what I'm saying? I probably wouldn't have. You know what I'm saying? Hey, when you walking in that lust of the youth, you feel me? It's hard to say. But that's why I say train up a child in the way he should go and never go astray, right? So if we was trained up as a child in this, most likely we would have never walked in these falsehoods, right?
Most likely.
You know what I'm saying? But what is this falsehood? But with falsehood, you have made the heart of the righteous sad.
Shut up.
Come on. What y'all always say? That's deep. That's what y'all be saying.
Man.
That's the point to say it right there. Go ahead,
Whom I have not made sad.
Whom the Most High has not made sad. But falsehoods has made us sad.
Right. Because the Most High is truth, right?
Right, for sure.
And you have strengthened the hands of the wrong.
Look around you. Who's stronger than you?
Mm-hmm.
It ain't the righteous.
That broad path,
Come on, that broad path, right, The righteous ain't stronger than you. It's the wrong.
Right. So that he does not turn from his evil way.
Basically, this scripture is saying you strengthen the hands of the wrong, and he's thinking that doing wrong is righteous.
Right.
So he's not turning from his evil way. He's like, I'm doing this wrong and I'm prospering. So why would I turn from this wrong?
That sounds like that's leading the world astray to me.
In the world astray, huh?
Yo.
To keep him alive.
Right. Because that means if he prospering, guess what? You prospering.
Mm-hmm. So let me push these pagan holidays, because this is what make the money, right? He said, man,
money. Right. And I got a toy business. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Man.
We add up
23.
Therefore, you shall no longer see false visions, nor practice divination, and I shall deliver my people out of your hand.
All praises.
Praise Yah.
And again,
and you shall know that I am Yahoo.
All praises. And you should know that I am Yahoo. Man, just about done, man. Couple more little clips. Hey, nah, Rube. Look up what is Babylon.
Okay.
I think that dude Michael B. Jordan just claimed to be one of these.
Straight, yep.
He claimed to be what?
Babylon. Yep.
Is that it?
I thought Yamil told me like Michael B. Jordan. Uh-oh. That's a song, that. Talking about Ricky Bobby or something.
What? Babalau. Babalau.
Lau.
Yeah, that's it. What is the
This it
meaning of
right here?
Babalau? Yeah. Type in Babalau.
You don't see it?
Yeah. That's not the one I'm looking for though.
Just type in Babalau. Babalau. Not what is. Take off the what is.
I think he got it spelled wrong. Baba. I think it's Lau.
Yeah.
Gotta put an A in front of that.
Oh yeah, y'all spell stuff for this brother. Y'all know that too.
Babam.
Balua.
That brother over here having flashbacks from school, spelling bees and stuff. He's sweating.
Come on. Come on.
All right, yeah, check that out. Babalau or Babalawe. Babalau refers to a spirit or deity in Yoruba religion. He is associated with healing, particularly from illnesses and skin diseases, and is also linked to disease and suffering. He is often depicted as lame or hobbled, reflecting his connection to disease and suffering, but also is a protector from illness. That's not still what I ain't looking for.
Maybe Babylon definition.
But that's them.
Maybe put definition behind it. See what they do. Babylon definition.
Yeah.
You got a screenshot?
Meaning of
it. Smallpox.
He just said that's not what he's looking for.
All right, definition.
Yeah,
That
I typed in what is Babalawu, right? So it's
That's what I should type in then.
yeah, what is Babalawu? What is Babalawu? Man, nope. Let me show you what mine say.
You want to send it to me?
Yeah, send it
Yeah,
to me.
type in Babalawo, spelled different ways.
BABA
LAWO. There we go. And Babalawo is a Yoruba religious figure, specifically a priest or diviner with the Ifa system. They are considered custodians of Ifa knowledge and play a vital role in divination, interpreting messages from the deity Arumelia, and providing guidance. In essence, a Babalawo is a trained expert in Ifa and knowledge it holds.
Can we get what the IFA system is?
Let's check that out. Ifa system. Still sound like a number of divination and witchcraft to me. Ifa system is a divination system used by Yoruba communities and the African diaspora in the Americas and in the Caribbean. The divination system.
Like witchcraft.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
And it's the guy, the Arumana Mela, also known as Ifa. Is a central figure in the Yoruba religion and the Ifa divination system. He is the deity of wisdom, destiny.
Wow. How many deities you gonna have?
Often considered the god of divination and fate. Arumela is seen as the bridge between the human realm and the divine, and he is believed to have been appointed by the supreme god Olaran to guide humanity. Now, who the heck is this?
God of humanity, quote unquote.
Wow.
But can I tell my so we know that these people they this all goes back to the worship of fallen angels and demons, bro. Because now you think about we read about the Testament of Solomon, and we know about demons. They got different roles, and there's different demons for different things. So when you're dealing with sicknesses, like I said, it's the god of sickness and all that. So it's just a demon, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Right, for sure.
Leading the world astray, boy. Satan was had a game plan put together. A blueprint, you would say. Yep.
This is the other guy that it was talking about. With that other guy that it was talking about.
Some friend of a friend of a friend of a friend.
Where we at now?
You gonna hit that that clip 4 and 5, the Michael B. Jordan.
Okay.
First one, the lady talking to him.
Okay. Now we're going to
that clip 4. Yep. The top one first.
Hoodoo is a real practice, and we had a hoodoo consultant, and I spoke to hoodoo priestesses. So it is very much grounded. I do feel like the Western world media has kind of shown us like a really dark side of voodoo, and I didn't know it was such a healing, loving, spiritual, connected practice. I feel so empowered and inspired by the people I've met.
Besties, I am 100% West African, and we know that hoodoo and voodoo is not healing or loving. It is false healing and false love. It is witchcraft. And that's exactly why I will not be going to go see the movie Sinners, because what part of this role did you need to consult hoodoo priests and hoodoo consultants? Like, it wasn't just enough to study. You needed a witch there with you. Yeah, the Bible tells us that how can two come together unless they agree? The Bible also tells us to protect our ear and our eye gates, and I'm going to do that by not watching this movie. Amen? Amen.
That's real, though.
Yeah.
At what point do you
Voodoo
need
is a real practice.
to come in the movie, man?
Right. Right. And that goes to that spiritual warfare. Like, why are you getting so you know what I mean? That's why I said, like, it goes back to, like, it's in your face. They telling you, I went and I got a voodoo
his
priest.
face that I'm about to drop a truth bomb on you. Didn't I tell you?
We were just talking about this movie, literally, right? Literally, we were just talking about it.
So they saying, like, we went and got a hoodoo priest to imitate. You know what I mean? For this movie. And on top of that, what she said that when she said, oh, when I thought about voodoo, it was just it was told to me that it was dark. But it got some light to it. And that's when the Most High said, woe to those that are evil good and good evil. You know what I'm saying?
I was thinking about that script.
Her evil good. She called it good.
Right. And darkness for light, and put darkness for light.
Where's the peace and love in that at, though? Where's the peace and love in that? That's straight deception.
According to their own peace, right? The world, the peace that like Mashiach said, the world give you.
Their own word, right.
We just read about that. We just read about what we calling this. That peace, that false peace. That's what this is. That false peace.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what Jeremiah say when they say peace, and there is no peace.
There's no peace. There is no peace. That's right on right there. There's no peace.
Go ahead,
Y'all, when y'all see this face that I'm about to drop a truth bomb on you, there is a clip that is going around because Michael B. Jordan, his middle name is Bakari, but he also says that in this clip that he's a Babalawo. And we're going to find out what that means. Let's watch.
B. Jordan, the B stands for Bakari, which means of noble promise.
Correct. You know your stuff. Okay.
All right. Who gave you that name, and how do you think it shaped the man you are today?
I'm a Babalawo, and my mom, when I was born, I got that name, fresh out the womb, and I just try to, live in that purpose, everyday sin.
So a Babalawo is a priest or diviner in the Yoruba religion, especially in the Alpha spiritual system. The word Babalawo in Yoruba means father of mysteries or father of secrets. Babalawos are experts in Alpha divination and are responsible for communicating with the divine through a system called Alpha, using tools like the Opeli divination chain or Ikin sacred palm nuts. They provide spiritual guidance, help people solve problems, perform rituals, and maintain a connection between humans in the spiritual world. This sounds like some demonic stuff because it sounds like it because it is. He's saying he channels spirits. He connects with the dead. Okay, so what is Alpha divination? It is a system of divination practiced by the Yoruba people of West Africa, particularly in Nigeria. It involves a diviner known as a Babalawo who uses divination, tray, and tapper to interpret the will of the gods and spirits. Unlike other forms of divination, Alpha divination doesn't rely on spirit mediumship, but on a complex system of orally transmitted texts that the Babalawo memorizes and interprets. What is examples of divination? Modern forms of divination include astrology, horoscopes, scrying, tarot cards, and Ouija boards. The The Bible speaks against divination. Here it is right here. In religious context, the sin of divination is the act of seeking hidden knowledge or foretelling the future through non-divine means, such as consulting spirit mediums, omens, or other supernatural forces. It's considered a sin because it involves seeking knowledge that God has not chosen to reveal, and because it often involves demonic or spiritual forces that are not aligned with God's will. The scriptures talk against divination, necromancy, enchanters, witches. Read Deuteronomy 18:9-11. He also says he channeled Chadwick Boseman in the movie Sinners. This is how him and many other actors are able to display certain characters. They tap into the spiritual rhythm and align their spirit with demonic forces. Seek the Most High Yahuwah for information, not New Age, not African spiritualism. Just drop the truth bomb on you.
Hey, and that's why they put him in all these movies like Black Panther that's dealing with like channeling and spiritual stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
See, and they people promote it because they don't know no better.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I went to the man. They promote it. They hype it up, man.
And like I said, like within like you mentioned that brother in Black Panther, the movie Sinners, which is damn near all black cast. So a lot of black people is coming out, to support this brother in his movie for based on what he's been involved in. And like we talked about before, we see a lot of our people getting led astray. Getting led astray from the truth, and they're going into this new age. They're going into this new age spirituality stuff. A lot of sisters going into the ancestor worship and all that. And this stuff in this movie, like you said earlier, that they said that black people created the blues, but they said that the gospel was forced on us. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And to push our people further away from the truth, further away from the Most High, coming into the truth at a time where this truth is prevalent. Where you got Kanye West, even though he's telling us we the Jews. You got Nick Cannon, you got Kyrie Irving. So at the time where this truth is being displayed, but you still got. You say it's like you said, it's a fight, it's warfare. Now you got this dude coming out with a movie, and they're telling you that we created blues, but the gospel was forced on us.
It's messed up.
Okay.
Didn't I tell y'all when y'all see this film?
Yep.
But yeah, that's warfare. And I was like I said, I was gonna have my family go watch that movie.
Man. I think my mom went to go see it today. I can't.
My woman told me, she was looking at a clip, and one woman talking about, before you go watch this movie, pray. If you got to do all that means you don't need to watch that movie.
Yeah.
Right. Straight up. I don't know if there's a script, but like, what the righteous got to do with the wicked, right?
Right. It's just like saying I'm about to pray before I go rob this bank.
Yeah. Exactly.
Growing numbers of African American women in Maryland and across the nation are leaving traditional church worship. All of them are in search of something else, a spiritual belief that connects them to their ancestors and where they can feel more empowered to control their own well-being. They have found it in ancient forms of spiritual contact. Some call it witchcraft, a term they accept and embrace. For most of us, this is how we worship, a tradition that predates us all. This, too, is an ancient art of worshiping, not to God the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, but to spirits and deities that span the oceans and date back to pre-slavery days in Africa. Are you, in fact, witches?
Whatever the situation calls for. So if you come to me with pleasantries, you being respectful, you'll get Glinda, the good witch of the suburbs. But if you come at me with negativity and meanness and disrespect, then you'll get
pause it one time.
Your worst nightmare.
So is she like the lead witch? Because she the only one that ain't got white on. Lead witch, and that was her witch of teas or something?
Yeah, you see it said she's the high priestess.
Oh, that's what it said. Okay. Because she the only one that ain't got white on. She like, all my witch of teas with white. That's crazy.
If you come to me with pleasantries, you being respectful, you'll get Glinda, the good witch of the suburbs. But if you come at me with negativity and meanness and disrespect, then you'll get Eveline. Your worst.
Hey, look what you're looking at too.
They have. This is how we worship. A tradition.
I ain't see not one Gentile in there.
No, because I'm saying they talking about they taking it back to our African roots and our ancestors and everything. Come on, man.
The gods that are far off, right? That we talked about earlier.
Right, but also lost.
And that predates us all. This too is an ancient art of worshiping, not to God the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, but to spirits and deities that span the oceans and date back to pre-slavery days in Africa. Are you in fact witches?
Whatever the situation calls for. So if you come to me with pleasantries, you being respectful, you'll get Glinda, the good witch of the suburbs. But if you come at me with negativity and meanness and disrespect, then you'll get Eveline. Your worst nightmare.
They have many names and titles and ranks within their belief system. They are college-educated professional women who've chosen to believe that theirs is a truer example of worship that is inclusive of the genders. It connects them, they say, to their ancestors and fills a need not found in traditional worship, though most of them grew up in the church.
I was raised Christian, all Christians in my family. In fact, my grandfather was a preacher in the South.
I also grew up Christian. I grew up Anglican in the Episcopal Church. The older I got, the more disconnect I felt.
I was raised Baptist. My father is a deacon, my mom a deaconess. I was in church all the time.
These women are part of a sect, Ile Ola Afefe Osa Meji, spiritual.
All of them coming from religion.
Yeah.
All of them coming from religion, that falsehood. That's what falsehood leads you to, where these women are at right now. Right?
That's why the scriptures say you scattered the flock.
Right.
Right. And then she over there, like she blessing them.
Yeah.
Fruit.
Yeah, but they sacrificing to idols. That's what they doing.
Man, she putting pineapples on one of them, bananas on the other one.
Yeah.
All these matching the colors that they wearing.
Sacrificing the idols.
Next is gonna be an apple. Come on, man.
Temple. They worship and offer prayers to Oshun, a predominant deity.
She's the deity or the Orisha of
That's who Beyonce deal with.
Beauty, sex, sensuality.
They are growing numbers of African American women who have chosen for themselves a new life, leaving the church in search of more meaning in their lives. And yes, it can be called witchcraft. At a recent convention in Baltimore, more than 200 witches gathered, a sisterhood, but their spells are for good, not for evil. In this ritual, the women are preparing an offering to Oshun on behalf of a woman in California who's looking for a mate. The omelet-type dish is sweetened with honey, believed to be a favorite of Oshun. Prayers are said, a tradition that predates us all.
I grew up Christian. I grew up Anglican.
Yeah, my father is a deacon.
That's why you can't eat everybody's food.
That too. You got a point on that.
Who have chosen for themselves a new life.
So, hey, wait, so
in this ritual, the women are preparing an offering to Oshun on behalf of a woman. Hey. Yes, it can be called witchcraft of a woman in California who's looking for a mate. The omelet-type dish is sweetened with honey, believed to be a favorite of Oshun. Prayers are said over the offering and for the woman in need. A portion is offered to Eshu, the male counterpart of Oshun, and placed in a secret place beneath the stairs of this Odenton home. Using shells, they ask the spirit if she is pleased. 4 shells are tossed to the floor, 2 land up, 2 land down. Balance. The gift is accepted.
She accepts it.
The traditions may seem odd to most, a mystery to some, complex and multi-layered. But these daughters of the moon, followers of Oshun, women, powerful, determined, and understanding, say there is nothing to fear. They are here, and they will be here for the foreseeable future. Yes, there are witches among us.
This is something that our ancestors did, and all we're doing is tapping back into it so that we can become our best selves, individually and collectively.
Ancestors the one that got you put in slavery.
Man, so lost.
Can't
So
save
lost.
you. The crystals can't save you. The only one can save you. Man, y'all gotta listen to that heart.
She said a good spell, right? And most of them that call good evil and evil good. You know what I'm saying?
Most
There
of
you
them
go,
call good evil good. Exactly.
There you go.
What good spell are you putting on somebody? You still dealing with witchcraft.
Still dealing with witchcraft, brother.
Man.
I had to bring that one out, man. Down to the last couple, y'all. No, it was
That
a
was
long one.
that.
That's crazy right there.
Let me get the definition of smudging. Look at that. Definition of smudging. Sacred smoke created from burning medicinal or sacred plants is an aspect of many cultures and religions the world over. In North America, it is a practice common to indigenous peoples and is called smudging. Many, but not all, indigenous cultures in Canada smudge, but have different beliefs associated with the smoke, and different ceremonies and protocols. In this article, we are given a general definition of smudging. Smudging is traditionally a ceremony for purifying or cleansing the soul of negative thoughts of a person or place. There are 4 elements involved in smudge. The container, traditionally a shell representing water, is the first element. The 4 sacred plants: cedar, sage, sweetgrass, and tobacco. You see people burning sage all the time,
right?
Thinking they could ward off negative thoughts and things like that. They really think that? Gifts from Mother Earth. There you go with that Mother Earth. Represent the second element. The fire produced from lightning and sacred plants represents the third element. The smoke produced from the fire represents air, the fourth element. I read this passage here. During a smudge, plant leaves or stems are placed in a container and ignited, preferably with a wooden match. The flames are gently blown out, and the smoke, which heals the mind, heart, and body, is wafted over the person, either by hand or with an eagle feather. The person being smudged pours the smoke to them and gently inhales the smoke. The ashes traditionally are returned to Mother Earth by disposing them outside on bare soil. It is believed that the negative thoughts and feelings have been absorbed by the ashes. A person can smudge themselves, or someone can lead a smudge by holding the container and directing the smoke over others.
It sounds like a hallucinogen.
Dude, it sounds like they stupid, for real. Smudging is also used to clear negative energy in rooms from homes. How could you tell? You clear some negative out by smudging. Man, devil deceive people, man. We ain't got to read all of it.
Yeah. All right, people still burning that sage all day.
Yeah.
About to say, the Bible talks about how they burned the incense, right, to their gods and stuff.
And that's why the Most High say I ain't accepting that. Because all these other nations, all these other people doing it,
I'm gonna like this sage, and now the negative thoughts gone.
Right.
Ooh. People lean to their own understanding.
Okay, Deuteronomy 18, 9 through 14. When you come into the land which Yahuwah your Elohim is giving you, do not learn to do according to the abomination of those nations.
That's what we was talking about earlier when we was talking about the
dogs. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they did. We didn't do that.
Right.
Let no one be found among you who makes his son or daughter or his daughter pass through the fire. One who practices, or one who practices divination, or a user of magic, or one who interprets omens, or a sorcerer, or one who conjures spells, or a medium, or a spiritist, or one who calls upon the dead.
Right. And we can also take that verse 10. Oh, go ahead, Art.
They say one who conjures spells. There's any good spells and bad spells, right? You're not supposed to be dealing with no spells.
Right.
Right. And when conjure means to bring up, right?
Yeah, to bring up. And check this out. Here's part of the spiritual warfare part 2. You always see like Wizard of Oz. You got the Wicked Witch of the East, the Good Witch, and the Bad Witch, right? Or the White Witch, or white magic is good. They try to fool you with that, man. A white magic is good, it's not black magic. Oh, it's a good witch, or it's a good spell. That's that spiritual warfare. That's the confusion right there, man. Leading the whole world astray.
Either one of them.
Exactly. Neither one.
And we dealt with that passing by fire before, but it's not talking about into Molech, right? So
Right.
also we can say this passing by fire is when somebody might be, you've seen it on TV before, somebody joining a cult, and then they make them walk on hot coals. You feel me? Hot coals to join, to be initiated in the cult.
Oh, I got you.
Okay? Or one who conjures spells, or a medium, or a spiritist, or one who calls up the dead.
Right, that's a
For
necromancer.
whoever does these is an abomination to Yahuwah.
Come on.
Because of these abominations, Yahuwah, your Elohim, drives them out before you.
Come on. So the Most High already saying this is mine, right? Because we already know this land was stolen. This land was stolen from Shem by Ham, right? This wasn't originally Ham land. Go ahead. We ain't gonna get in that. Go ahead.
So big ancestors stole from us.
That's what happened. He liked that too. He geeked like, yeah, we got it. You know what I'm saying?
It wasn't even funny.
Nothing's funny to him today. He laughing inside though. Go ahead.
Be perfect before Yahuwah, your Elohim.
That's what we talked about earlier. We talked about that earlier, right? Be an imitator of the Most High, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Be perfect.
For these nations whom you are possessing, do listen to those using magic and to diviners. But as for you, Yahuwah, your Elohim, has not appointed such for you.
Oh, praises.
That's it.
It goes with that passage I was looking for. I gotta find it too. Yahuwah, your Elohim. Oh, that's it. Just the 14. Okay.
Get these last two clips and close it out, man.
Hey, 38.
38. All my videos made it long, man.
No, we good. We almost over with. It's still shorter than Shag lesson.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about the haters. You know what I'm saying?
They make me feel good.
Hey.
Buddhist. Right. Well, Masonry is a religion. I mean, it has all the qualities. That's what I tell people. If you look at Webster's dictionary, there's 3 things that make something a religion, according to Webster. Number 1, something has a belief in some sort of deity. Masonry has that. Number 2, that belief is expressed in some sort of ritual. And Masonry is full of ritual. I mean, that's pretty much all it is. And then the third quality is it has a system of some sort of ethics or morality, and Masonry has that. So Masonry is a religion, and it's an antichrist religion. And the problem is that basically, if you drill down into this deep enough and read the books that are written by people like Albert Pike, like Albert Mackey, these are 2, or Arthur Edward Waite. These are 3 prominent scholars of 19th century, early 20th century Masonry. And all of them were occultists. Arthur Edward Waite, he wrote a book on black magic and pacts, how to sell your soul to the devil. And in my book, shameless plug, this is an older edition. This is the first edition. It looks different now. But in my book, I document how almost every single leading occult person of the late 19th and early 20th century was a Freemason. They just go together like, love and marriage.
If people want to go look at these books, I just want you to like kind of give them an idea, because if they want to confirm that for themselves, what books are you talking about? What people are you talking about?
Well, there's Morals and Dogma by Albert Pike. He was like the greatest Masonic scholar in America of the 19th century. He was the sovereign grand commander of the Scottish Rite, and he's buried in the Scottish Rite Temple, 13 blocks from the White House.
Wow.
So that's one. The other one is Albert Mackey's Encyclopedia of Freemasonry. There's Arthur Edward Waite, who has a whole bunch of books on Masonry. Again, all of these are footnoted in my book. I mean, the last lots of pages of footnotes, because I'm not just making this stuff up. The other person who really you need to pay attention to in all of this, because he's more contemporary. Have you ever heard of Manly P. Hall?
I have, yeah.
Yeah. Well, he was one of the most notable occultists in America in the 20th century. He passed away in 1994, I think. He was the head of the Philosophical Research Society. He was a very high-level ceremonial magician, and he was also a 33rd degree Mason. And he wrote this book, Lost Keys of Freemasonry. And in that book, among many things, he says that when you become a master Mason, you are like a warrior on the block. And that's kind of Masonic code. And the seething energies of Lucifer are yours to command.
Wow.
So these are like the biggest Freemasonic figures that we know about today. And yet most Freemasons have no idea about this.
Yeah, because they don't read the books. They join the lodge for whatever reason. It might be for business, because see, it used to be that up until I think the early 90s, lawyers and doctors were not allowed to advertise. They couldn't put like an ad in the telephone book. It was like an ethics thing. And so the only way that lawyers and doctors could kind of build up business was by Masonry. They joined the Masonic Lodge. They send referrals to one another, a good old boys network. So that's why a lot of people join the lodge. Many people join it because they had an uncle or a father or a brother who was in it. And honestly, unless you really understand the occult, it's boring. I mean, imagine the most boring church service you've ever been in. And having spent 5 years in the Mormon church, I can relate to that. But it's just, guys were sitting there snoring during the Masonic ritual when I was there. And, because it's like watching paint dry. And they go every week. And when I was involved in this, I was like the youngest guy in the lodge by 20 years. All these guys were like 50, 60, 70 years old, and basically they were there because they were buddies. And afterwards they'd, play poker and eat, sandwiches or something. But what none of these men understand, I don't think, is that deep down inside there's this very dark, evil energy, which is very sexualized. We document in the book how many men that have come to us over the years for deliverance, they were in Masonry and they began to be drawn into wickedness, into perversion, and even into pedophilia. And it's dark, dangerous stuff because it opens up unholy desires within the men. And then, because of the way the spiritual world works, that in turn percolates down into their family. And it affects the wife, who may or may not be involved, because there's a women's order of Masonry called the Order of the Eastern Star, whose symbol is a satanic pentagram, by the way.
Think about that. Nothing that we haven't heard or know yet, but
that's what it is. I ain't gonna lie. I got a book from Manly P. Hall.
Yeah. Hey.
Man, I'm like, man, I don't even. I started reading it. I was like, man, this shit wicked than a
It's wicked, ain't it? It's wicked. Man, that whole interview is really good. But check this out. They kind of squeeze this in there. Look at this.
And I'm an elk, a Mason, a communist. I'm the president of the Gay and Lesbian Alliance for some reason. Ah, here it is. The Stonecutters. This is it. My ticket in. They have to let me join if I'm a son of a member. I'll take this communist one, too. I'm in.
Okay, Homer, you're in. Just don't point that thing at me.
When am I going to be initiated?
As soon as number 1 gets here.
Number 1?
My
name is number 1.
We call each other by number, not by name. Carlin's number 14, I'm number 12. Burnsy's number 29.
You outrank Mr. Burns here?
Sure. Watch. Hey, 29, get over here.
Yeah, you see that in the background?
Thank you, sir. May I have another? Patience, Monty. Climb the ladder.
Someday, a chosen one will...
Okay. I didn't ask for your life story.
Crossing the desert. And this we call the unblinking eye.
Swear that if I reveal the secrets of the Stonecutters, may my stomach become bloated and my head be plucked of all but 3 hairs.
I think you should have to take a different oath.
Everyone takes the same oath. Welcome to the club number 908. Now let's all get drunk and play ping pong.
Yeah! So, it's still gonna be a couple of weeks.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
What?
Wait! Well, I didn't realize you were a member.
So long, suckers.
Okay.
Same old space, huh, Dad?
Yep, but they gave me these rollerblades. Jealous?
Your membership pack.
What's this?
You put that sticker on your car so you won't get any tickets. And this other one keeps paramedics from stealing your wallet while we're working on you.
Oh, and don't bother calling 911 anymore. Here's the real number.
Ooh.
I still don't believe all the founding fathers were stonecutters.
That's because you trust your stupid school books. Here's what really happened at the signing of the Declaration of Independence.
Now let us party, like 'twas 1799.
Please, sir, you're destroying my establishment.
We just created the greatest democracy on earth, you low-life commoner.
You know who just invited you to a secret wink-wink at the you-know-what.
Who controls the British crown? Who keeps the metric system down? We do.
Who leaves Atlantis off the maps?
Who keeps the Martians under wraps?
We do. Who holds back the electric car? We do.
Thank you. Tonight, we are here to commemorate our glorious society's 1500th anniversary. Sacred parchment.
Homer.
Huh? Oh, yeah. Thanks, Lenny.
This is just appalling and outrageous.
What? Did I miss something?
Oh, God! Oh, Homer, no! This is outrageous. You can't...
And the official Stonecutter underwear, too.
Oh.
I've learned my lesson!
Hereby banished from the Stonecutters forever.
Hey, you can pause right there.
The mark.
That if I
You gotta do what?
I was gonna say something real quick. That Mason video I just showed, the whole video, the guy was saying that how they was all walking around in drawers with drawers on and everything. And on this episode, they was walking around with drawers on. You see how they make him give his drawers back, but he tossed them in the fire and like little spirits came out of them. Did you catch that?
That's probably right here.
Yeah. Put the drawers in the fire.
And the official Stonecutter underwear, too.
Oh. I've learned my lesson!
Hereby banished from the Stonecutters forever.
The mark. Oh, that. It's just a birthmark.
He's the chosen one.
I always wondered if there was a God, and now I know there is. And it's me.
I know you think you're happy now, but it's not gonna last forever.
Everything lasts forever.
Don't you see? Getting what you want all the time will ultimately leave you unfulfilled and joyless.
Remove the girl.
Dad, you're not with your stonecutters now. There are no lackeys around to carry out your...
That was kind of deep too.
Yeah, man, because you can see all them hidden signs that they just blatantly put out there, man. And they act like it ain't nothing.
They threw it out there too because they were showing that how when you be a Mason, how you get all them,
Yeah.
police let you go,
The
all that
rituals.
type of stuff.
And he had his hand on the book saying he'll cut his belly. But that interview, that guy, he was saying the actual, when you get sworn in ritual, how they would take your tongue out your mouth and cut your throat and this and that. You see how they put that out there like that? You see the all-seeing eye symbol.
As soon as y'all said don't get pulled over, y'all start enticing y'all male. Don't do that.
Hey,
old 18, I get it ready.
And I was gonna say that was another example of the peace that the world gives. Showing how he was a Mason.
Yeah. Stone cutters.
And like you said, a lot of these people ain't even, they Masons, you know what I'm saying? Like my woman daddy, he think he a Mason, you feel me? But he like a low level brother. That's it.
All right. And like dude said, until they read those books and know what they're getting into, brothers just joining because they think they cool. They ain't gonna get pulled over by this cop. You seen how he gave Homer that patch? You won't get pulled over with this. Brothers ride around the hood with Mason symbols on and thinking they empowered, man.
Right.
Being led astray, being led astray.
Sad, man.
Old 18.
Old 18.
My heart was lifted up in the love of the Most High and was enlarged, that I might praise him for his name's sake. My members were strengthened, that they might not fall from his strength. Sicknesses departed from my body, and it stood to the master by his will. For his kingdom is true. O master, for the sake of them that are deficient, do not remove your word from me. Neither for the sake of their works do you restrain from me your perfection. Do not let the luminary be conquered by the darkness, nor let truth flee away from falsehood. You will appoint me to victory. Your right hand is our salvation. All praise. And you will receive men from all quarters. And you will preserve whosoever is held in evils. You are my El. Falsehood and death are not in your mouth. For your will is perfection, and you do not know vanity, nor does it know you. And you do not know error, neither does it know you. And ignorance appeared like a blind man, and like the foam of the sea. And they supposed of that vain thing that it was something great. And they, too, came in likeness of it and became vain. And those have understood, who have known and meditated, and they have not been corrupt in their imagination. For such were in the mind of the Most High. And they mocked at them, that they were walking in error. And they spoke truth from the inspiration which the Most High breathed into them. Praise and great honor to his name. Halal Yahuwah. Praise Yah.
Praise
Yeah. Praise to the Most High.
All praise.
That was good, Adam. Real good.
All praise to the Most High.
Yes, sir. All praises for sure.
All praises. Run that fire today. All
That is-
praises.
I'm gonna tell you, like, I'll tell you.